This is the story of the first ever SCP. Today, we're going to be learning about SCP-001.
The guerrilla soldiers fire their rifles blindly into the jungle.
Okay.
They don't know what exactly they're shooting at, but something is out there among the trees.
How do they know?
They can't see.
Oh, that's so weird.
That's killing them. One of the young soldiers, barely more than a boy, stops to reload. As he pulls the magazine from his rifle, a blur passes by.
Okay.
The soldier next to him suddenly drops to his knees, clutching his neck.
What?
Blood pouring out between his fingers.
No way!
A hand grasps the boy's shoulder, and he spins around, nearly opening fire on his commander. The older man tells him they've got to go, and the boy joins a small group of soldiers who start running through the jungle, trying to get away from whatever this thing is.
This is so creepy, guys. Just imagine you're in this situation. There's a creature out in the forest. That alone just sounds creepy, and you can't even see it. It's a blur that moves so fast, and it's destroying your entire unit of people. That is insane.
As they run, there's another flash of movement, and one of the soldiers is pulled into the trees.
Oh my God.
You can hear his screams mixed with the otherworldly shrieks, but there's nothing they can do. It's already too late for him.
Oh,
Another soldier disappears into the trees with a blur.
Okay, they're all dead.
It's just him and the commander now. They emerge from the jungle into a clearing that contains a small abandoned farm.
All right, why is he walking like this? Just watch this dude. He's walking like he has a stick in his butt.
The commander motions for them to head towards the old farmhouse, and the two take cover around the corner of the home. They crouch with their guns ready, peeking around the corner, looking for any sign of the monster that's killed so many of their comrades.
I would be pooping my
the boy
pants.
Wants to know what they should do. He opens his mouth to ask the commander, but he puts a finger to his lips and motions for the boy to keep watching.
Okay, so for whatever reason, it seems like this commander knows about the SCP that we're learning about today, which is the first ever SCP nicknamed the Prototype. Now, I don't know why he knows this like weird information that like you can't talk, you gotta be quiet. Maybe he doesn't and he's just kind of guessing, but it seems like he knows more than he's letting on.
The boy peeks around the corner of the house, but he doesn't see anything emerging from the tree line. It's quiet until the commander begins to scream.
What?
The boy turns to see a point forming on his chest. It's a black circle.
Huh?
No, not black, something darker. It's like it is the
darker than
absence
black?
of any and all light.
That's a black hole.
The commander screams louder as the point of darkness grows. The commander's screams fade out, even as it looks like he continues to yell.
Huh?
The boy watches as the commander seems to be collapsing in, sucked into the dark orb in his chest.
His feet are literally getting collapsed in.
The folds in on itself, growing smaller and smaller until it disappears completely into the black hole,
goodness.
which vanishes along with him.
Wow.
The boy doesn't know what he just saw.
I don't think I do either.
He doesn't have time to think.
Look behind him.
Emerging from the forest is the creature. The boy has never seen anything like it.
This is a horror story.
Farmhouse.
Yeah, get out of there.
He locks the door and pushes the old kitchen table in front of it, trying to barricade it as best he can. He looks around and spots a bed against the wall. It's the best hiding spot he can find.
Okay.
So he runs and
just hide under there.
The bed, pulling himself as close to the wall as he can.
Yeah, that's what I would do too.
Waits, unsure of what he should do. It's quiet. There's no more screaming of soldiers being killed or any more of those guttural animal-like squeals.
Okay, guys, I don't know if you have any information about SCP-001, but for whatever reason, you guys seem to know a lot about SCPs. So if you have any weird facts or information about the SCP, leave some comments down below because this is the first time I am ever seeing this SCP, and it seems deadly. It seems like it might be more overpowered than Shy Guy, more overpowered than the statue, more overpowered than the red pool that like spawns in brand new SCPs. It seems like this thing is really fast. It can destroy you in one single hit, and it also can form a black hole, which is deadly. I can't believe this thing even exists.
Go back to wherever it came from. The boy doesn't dare come out from under the bed though, as he watches the door, waiting for something to burst through.
Yeah, I would stay there for all of eternity.
Another of those black points appears in the middle of the room.
How?
It looks like it bends the light around it, distorting the room nearby. The boy watches from under the bed as out of the point, a thin black limb emerges. First one, then another. He can see its strange pointed legs with no feet standing just in front of the bed now. With a high-pitched cry, the creature effortlessly tosses the bed aside. The boy is left exposed, cowering against the wall.
Oh my God!
The creature screams, opening its wide mouth that seems to split its eyeless face in two, revealing 2 rows of jagged teeth. The boy screams back, crying in fear, and sees that the creature isn't eyeless after all.
What?
Inside its grotesque mouth, a milky blue ball appears.
Is that an
There's
eyeball?
no iris, but the boy knows whatever this thing is, it's looking at him. The boy feels his chest grow tight. He looks down to see that one of the black points is forming on his chest. He can feel himself being squeezed and crushed, pulled down into this singular point.
That is so scary.
Noises, including his screams, disappear as he is pulled into this soundless void. But then he hears something again. He looks up to see that the creature is being riddled with bullets.
Who?
It turns
Who
to
is that?
escape and bursts through the wall of the
Who
farmhouse.
shot him?
The dark orb on the boy vanishes, and he sees, standing in the doorway, his friend and savior.
What?
He clutches his bleeding throat with one hand, holding his rifle in the other. The boy rushes to him as he collapses to the floor.
Okay, I take it back. That SCP is garbage. It literally, so a lot of SCPs, they don't take any damage from any like bullets or nuclear missiles. Like the hard to destroy reptile is one of the most overpowered SCPs because it can't be destroyed, literally. But it seems like the prototype, it's the first ever SCP, and it can take damage from bullets, right? So, I mean, it seems powerful, but maybe not as powerful as I originally thought.
Blood is pouring out of his neck, and he can no longer speak. But he dies knowing he saved his young friend.
I mean, for
now,
now,
starts to feel very tired.
The SCP could still be out there.
Next to his dead hero. He's all alone now. His entire group of freedom fighters now wiped out by this demon.
Now would be a good time to run, man. You should run.
He coughs into his hand and looks down to see that it's covered in his own blood.
Because, yeah, the black hole, it opened, and it probably, like, messed up all of his internal things.
A group of boys run down a jungle path.
Is that
laughing and playing.
Is that the end of the story?
And grow quiet. There's something up ahead of them.
Do they
It's a
find
man
the house?
lying on the side of the road. The boys look scared, unsure if they should check it out.
Yeah, what's
but then
going
the smallest
on?
of all of them emerges from the group and bravely marches up to the man. Not wanting to let the youngest of their friends make them look like cowards, the rest of the boys soon follow.
Is that the
The man on the
prototype?
side of the road
Wait, no, it kind of looks like the Plague Doctor. So I don't know if maybe this video has like multiple SCP stories combined into one. I thought it was just SCP-001, the prototype, which is the first ever SCP. But I don't know. This guy, he looks a lot like the Plague Doctor. So maybe it
moaning
is.
and looks to be in pain. As they get closer, they can see that he must have been in a terrible accident. His skin is gray, and it looks like his long, thin arms only have 3 fingers. What should they do? The small boy picks up a stick and reaches out.
Get out of there!
Not wanting to touch him with his own hands.
What are you doing,
Before
bro?
he can, the man rolls over.
No.
opening
Oh,
his
yeah.
mouth with a horrible shriek.
It still is the
reveals a
SCP.
glassy blue eye inside, as the boys turn and run, hands over their ears. Several weeks later, the small Guatemalan town holds a meeting. A crowd of people in the room are angrily yelling at the mayor, who stands at a podium, demanding answers from him about what happened to their dead or missing loved ones.
It's so weird because they didn't say like what time period this is taking place in. So I mean, it looks like it's like modern day time because obviously like they have AK-47s and stuff. Maybe it's like the 50s or the 60s because I feel like kind of like in Stranger Things, that's kind of just like when a lot of this like experimental stuff happened in like the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, where people just like didn't care. They were just willing to test different things. And that's probably why they created SCP-001. They were probably trying to create like some superhuman, and then they accidentally created this creature that can open black holes and destroy everything. So it's people's fault.
Photos are hung on the wall behind the mayor in remembrance of those who have disappeared into the forest or mysteriously died from a rapid illness, including the brave young boy.
Yeah, there he is.
One man shouts at the mayor, wanting to know where his daughter was. Another asks how her healthy husband could drop dead from an illness after being perfectly healthy only days before. The mayor tries to calm the frustrated townspeople, telling them that he knows there have been rumors of a demon out in the forest, but that's all they are. Rumors.
Nope.
The mayor warns them, though,
Not
that something
rumors.
is out there, though he doesn't know what. There is an animal or man that is making people sick. It may also be hunting people. Neither he nor the police know exactly what is going on. But there is good news. A group of men have come to help them.
Yes, finally, we got the
mayor points
military.
towards a stern-looking man
baby.
in a military uniform who is standing with a small group of other soldiers.
That's
and
what
a
we need,
scientist off to the side of
firepower.
the stage. The mayor explains that this man, General Machoy, is from America, and that he's going to help them.
So before we keep going with the video, I need to tell you guys about my brand new cookie plushies. They're super cute, squishy, and probably the softest plushie ever created. They're so soft, I love them. We have the OG chocolate chip cookie, the sprinkle cookie, and my personal favorite, the zombie cookie. If you guys are watching on a TV, grab your phone, or your mom's phone, or your grandma's phone, and scan this QR code right here. Go ahead, I'll wait. Or you guys could head right on over to BeckBroJack.co. Okay, you guys got it? Let's get back to the video.
The crowd doesn't cheer in the way that the mayor seems to have expected.
Okay, I am also kind of curious about the scientist that the commander came with, because if this is the first ever SCP, then does the SCP Foundation even exist yet? Like, is it just forming? Did the SCP Foundation make this SCP, or were they created after the fact to study the SCPs that, like, maybe the military made, maybe they made them in Area 51? Like, I don't really know where the SCP started or originated. So if you guys know anything, leave some comments down below. But I have a feeling that the SCP Foundation maybe started after to study the SCPs that, like, the military created.
But they at least stop their yelling as the general steps to the podium and thanks the mayor for the introduction. The general looks over the crowd who are waiting and hungry for answers about the monster that's suddenly begun plaguing their town. He tells them that it is true that he's been sent here by the US government in order to investigate what's been happening and stop whatever threat is out there in the jungle by any means necessary.
That is gruesome.
He can't promise that he'll be able to bring back any of their missing loved ones, but he can at least prevent whatever this is from taking any more.
Okay.
He then gestures to the rest of his group and tells the crowd that the men he has brought with him have been specially trained to deal with this exact type of situation.
So maybe they are in the SCP Foundation. That is weird, because, like, why would they be specially trained for SCPs, right? It doesn't make sense unless the SCP Foundation has already been created.
And that they don't need to worry any longer. The only thing everyone needs to do is stay out of their way, and all will be taken care of. With that, he walks off the stage as the crowd erupts into more shouting. General Machoy stops at the scientists waiting next to the stage. Well, Dr. Ketter, what do you think? The scientist adjusts his glasses and answers, "This is what we've been preparing for. The overseers kept telling us this day would come.
The overseers?
Looks like it finally has." The group of soldiers led
by that's
General
really
Machoy
sus.
make their way through the dense forest. Dr. Ketter is just ahead of them, using a Geiger counter to follow the creature, the audible clicks of the radioactive entity telling him which way it came. They track the source of the radiation to a clearing in the jungle where a small village once stood. Most of the buildings are overgrown with plants and thick vines, but with it growing dark, this seems as safe a place as they will find to make their camp for the night.
Why did they go there at night, dude? They should have went there during the day. Nothing good happens at night.
The soldiers fan out to search what's left of the town as Dr. Ketter continues looking around for where the radioactive trail might lead them next. As General Machoy is checking out one of the many dark old buildings, one of the older soldiers cries out, "Hey General, it looks like this generator still works."
Huh?
With the sound of an old diesel motor coming to life.
Okay.
Lights in the village suddenly flicker on. They now have fortifications and light.
That's crazy that still works.
General Machoy was feeling nervous about spending the night in the jungle, but now at least some of those nerves were being washed away by the old flickering yellow lights.
Okay.
Later that night, the general is questioning Dr. Ketter on where the creature went. Dr. Ketter is confused, though. His readings showed high traces.
Oh, no, it's gonna be right in the village. Of course it is, bro. Of course he's confused. He's like, the radioactive levels, they're really high right here. I wonder where he could be. And then boom, they're all gonna die.
Of radiation leading into this village. The creature came here, he was sure of it, but now he can't figure out where it went.
It's in the village.
It's as if it came into the village and then simply vanished.
Or maybe it's still in the village.
One of the soldiers on watch tells the rest of the group who are sitting around a fire to shut up, that he thinks he saw something in the woods. Everyone immediately springs into action, taking defensive positions and aiming their rifles into the dark tree line. There it is again, he says.
That's
as
it.
a flash
That's
of
it. They're
darkness
all
moves
dead.
just
They're
beyond
all
the clearing.
dead.
No, it's over here, says another soldier on the opposite side. How could the creature be moving so fast around them? Are there multiple of whatever this is out there?
Nope, he's
The
just
soldiers
really
form a
fast.
circle to make sure that the thing can't get behind them. What they can't see is the point of darkness forming behind all of their backs and the thin pointed legs stepping on it. The general's radio comes to life. "I think we've got something out here, But his message is cut off by screams and the sound of gunfire. General Machoy tells Dr.
Wait, that was such a funny face.
Off by screams and the sound
The scientist is like, oh, we're all dead.
Gunfire. General Machoy tells Dr. Ketter to stay inside and runs out of the building, where he finally gets a glimpse of the demon that they've been tracking. The
can
tall,
see it.
thin creature is massacring his squad. It dashes between them at an inhuman speed, using its three-fingered hands to rip the limbs off of some soldiers and slash at others with its razor-sharp claws, opening up their necks or disemboweling them before moving on to the next. The general fires his rifle at the creature and misses, but it's enough to get it to retreat. General Machoy runs back inside the building where Dr. Ketter is waiting. What was it? What did you see out there?
What do you think?
The general doesn't know how to begin describing
Okay, I'm starting to think this scientist might be dumb.
a monster that just killed all of his men. It's like nothing he's ever seen before, and something that no amount of training could prepare him for. As the two men ponder what to do next, the Geiger counter on the table suddenly starts to click.
It's getting
softly at
closer.
first, but then more and more.
It's
as if
getting
a huge amount of
closer.
radiation has suddenly flooded the room.
Oh, brother.
The general grabs the doctor and drags him out, leaping out of the building just before it collapses in on itself, disappearing into the micro-singularity that formed inside. The two men look up to see it standing right in front of them, its huge mouth open to reveal its glassy blue eye. "Look out," Dr. Ketter cries, but he isn't talking about the demon, as he and the general
black
roll
hole,
to the side,
right?
just avoiding the power
wow.
line that's been cut loose by the destroyed building.
Okay, maybe the scientist
The
is
power
kind
line
of
hits
smart.
the ground and immediately begins to spark, sending out bright pulses of white electrical light. The creature cries out with a gut-wrenching scream and collapses to the ground, huddling up into a ball as it tries to cover up its mouth with its thin arms.
That's so weird.
"Is it the electricity?" the general asks, confused about what suddenly stopped the killer's rampage.
Huh.
But Dr. Ketter realizes
I don't know what it is about Dr. Ketter, but he makes some really crazy faces. Why does it look like he's trying to poop?
it isn't the sparking power line that the creature has been immobilized by.
It's the light.
It's the flashing lights.
Oh.
The general doesn't wait for his answer, though.
He pulled a rocket launcher out of his flippin' butt. Where did that come from?
And fires the weighted net from his gun, trapping the howling creature.
Maybe not a rocket launcher, but they
Dr.
captured
Ketter
it.
examines the creature at the field research center that has been set up several miles from the village. A strobe light has
Okay, I'm kind of curious as well, like, how were they able to transport the SCP considering it can just go into a black hole? Like, wouldn't it just escape immediately?
been affixed to the inside of the creature's cage. But even when the doctor turns the light off, the grayish-brown skinned entity still remains curled up in a ball on the floor.
Oh.
The doctor wonders if perhaps the creature is hungry, but it shows no interest in any of the various meats, fruits, and vegetables they've presented to it. The doctor stands in the doorway of the tent that has been set up to house the creature's cage and gives an update to General Machoy, who is anxious to get the creature moved to the United States and a more secure containment environment. Dr. Ketter stresses that he fears the journey might kill this creature, though, and put an end to the incredible research and testing they can perform on this amazing living specimen. The general turns to leave, but stops to salute the body of one of his soldiers being carried by on a stretcher.
Oh, wow.
Dr. Ketter
That's
himself
so sad.
turns to go back to his research when he notices something. The creature's mouth is ever so slightly open.
What does that mean?
Dr. Ketter has yet another idea. That night, Dr. Ketter enters the temporary morgue and
What are
takes
you
a
doing?
severed arm from one of the dead soldiers.
No.
Back in the research tent, he presents the arm to the creature, sliding it through the cage bars. The creature doesn't react.
No.
Dr. Ketter continues to watch and wait.
Why would you
After
do
a
this?
time, the creature finally stirs.
Dr.
It's
Ketter.
the first time he has seen it move since it was captured. The creature reaches out with its long three-fingered hand and grabs the arm before starting to feed on it.
No!
You like that, don't you? Dr. Ketter asks.
Ew.
And bizarrely, the creature seems to respond, giving an almost baby-like coo. There's lots more of that if you behave. All I want is to study you, learn how you work.
Okay, this scientist has lost his mind.
Starting to crunch on the bones now that all of the meat is gone. Yes, I believe you'll be good, the doctor says as he approaches the cage. You're going to make me world famous.
Okay,
Soon,
this scientist
everyone will
he's a
know the
bad
name
guy.
Herman The creature's hand shoots out from between the bars so quickly he never even saw it. Dr. Ketter starts to scream as it grasps and claws at him.
No
A soldier
way.
standing guard outside runs in, but a black point of light immediately appears on his torso, causing him to fold in on himself into the singularity. The creature drops the bloody Dr. Ketter to the floor, who reaches for the emergency strobe light activation button as another singularity opens up inside of the cage.
Oh my god, he's gonna escape.
The creature appears to willfully step into it before emerging out of another just outside of the bars.
Oh.
More soldiers rush into the tent in time to see the creature feeding on the still living Dr. Ketter. One presses the button to activate the high-powered strobe lights, which cause the creature to start screaming and thrashing about, trying to escape the flashing lights. Multiple nets are fired onto the creature, pinning it to the ground as its screams slowly fade back
Okay,
to
so they
whimpers.
captured it again.
On Overseer orders, the creature is moved to ADRX-19, a secure base located somewhere in North America.
Okay, so
site's director
the SCP's foundation got its hands on the SCP, but not before the doctor got deleted.
Gives a presentation to a group and explains that thanks to the work of the late Dr. Ketter, they now know that the creature exhibits signs of fear and sickness when in the presence of strobing lights. and that it is unable to produce the microsingularities that it uses for defense and teleportation when it is in this sickened state.
Interesting.
When healthy, though, the creature is extremely dangerous thanks to its superhuman speed, strength, and cunning.
I mean, that's definitely a Keter class.
It was also discovered that it is unable to teleport through lead, which its new containment cell has been lined with.
How do they figure that out?
Security procedures have been implemented, including the installation of a reinforced steel blast door and constant patrols of the outside of the cell by armed guards who are equipped with high-powered strobe lights. The site director leaves the room and the overseers discuss the fate of the creature, which has been given the designation number 86243AR-001, though most have taken to calling it simply 001. One of the overseers argues that the creature must be secured and contained in order to protect humanity.
So I'm really curious as well, because it seems like this is the first ever SCP that they're documenting. However, like, they have some sort of foundation. They have a group of like people that know about the SCPs. So it seems like they have seen other SCPs, but it's weird because they named this one 001. So it's the first ever SCP, but I don't know. It seems like they know a lot more than we know, which is weird.
Who knows how many more of these might be out there? They now know that the rumors of these types of entities aren't merely isolated events, and that there could be countless more of these anomalies. Hundreds, maybe even thousands.
There are thousands.
The rest of the overseers unanimously agree. One of them picks up the report that was left behind by the site director. Redact this report immediately and start a new document archive. This is only the prototype. I have the feeling there will be many more of these.
If you guys thought that the first ever SCP was scary, well, I don't know if you guys are ready for these next ones. We're gonna be learning about another super popular but extremely dangerous SCP called SCP-173.
Let's check this out.
A group of 3 Class D personnel approach the locked containment chamber. One of them is carrying a bucket and mop, but all 3 of them look jumpy and hesitant to move forward. An SCP Foundation guard walking behind them gives one of them a push forward with the barrel of his gun.
So for those of you guys that haven't seen an SCP video from me before, these guys in the orange jumpsuits are D-class personnel, and they are basically like test subjects that the SCP Foundation puts in with dangerous SCPs to see what will happen.
He continues stepping towards the cell door. All 3 of them nervously stare at the heavy locked metal door. Behind it, the sound of stone scraping against metal can be heard coming from inside.
That's it, guys. That's the statue SCP.
Asks the 3 if they are ready. They don't answer, and the
I wouldn't be.
Starts to laugh.
Oh, that's messed up, dudes.
The guard loudly announces that special containment procedures are beginning now. You know the rules. 2 maintain eye contact at all times while the other cleans. If you have to blink, do it 1 eye at a time, and announce before you close even 1 eye so everyone knows. The guard turns and starts to enter a code into the keypad next to the door. Each of the D-classes take a couple hard, last blinks, taking the last opportunity they have to shut both of their eyes at the same time before they begin.
So guys, if you don't know this about the statue SCP, you have to look at it at all times. It's kind of like a weeping angel from the Doctor Who universe, where you have to maintain some sort of eye contact, or else it will come up behind you and it will kill you. Literally, that's what happens. So that's why they're sending in 3 D-class personnel. Now, the only problem is, if there's no light in the room, then you can't see the SCP. So I have a weird feeling that's what's going to happen. The lights will go out, and then the statue will be released into this foundation.
With a loud hiss, the sealed chamber door unseals. All right, eyes up, the guard commands. The door opens to reveal a small, dimly lit chamber.
Ew.
There are no furnishings, and much of the metal floor and walls are covered in a reddish-brown substance.
That stuff is
and
gross.
There in the corner is what they've heard stories and rumors about. The thing that has given them nightmares ever since they learned that they would have to enter the containment chamber. SCP-173. Or as most of the staff in the SCP Foundation call it, the sculpture.
Oh, sorry, the sculpture, not the statue.
It looks so unassuming in person. Just a crude concrete figure with a stupid-looking spray-painted face, standing motionless.
Dr. Bob, you gotta chill, man. Do not offend this SCP, or else this SCP might, come around someday and, do bad things to you.
In the corner. The 3 D-classes get another push from the guard behind them, and they enter the chamber. The 2 assigned to watch SCP-173 assume their position in the middle of the room.
Do not blink.
Locked on the sculpture, as the other starts cleaning the foul substance off the floor and walls. It smells terrible, like a mix of old blood and human waste.
What is
The two
that?
assigned to watch 173 pay no attention to the one cleaning, though. They follow protocol to a T, maintaining their vigil and announcing each time they are going to blink, even if it is only one
Can you
eye.
guys do this?
The third one continues cleaning, trying
If
his
you
best
can,
to
leave a
keep
like
his
on
own
today's
eyes
video.
locked on the sculpture as he attempts to mop around it without getting too close. D5933 does his job and doesn't break eye contact with SCP-173.
Oh my gosh,
Even though
they're
it
right
hasn't
next to
moved,
it.
He can feel the presence of the sculpture, something within it, just waiting for him to slip up.
I don't
to let
like
his eyes
this.
avert for just one split second. They say that's all it takes. You stop looking for even an instant, and it's all over. With all of the fear coursing through his veins, it is hard to maintain focus. All he can think about is how dry his eyes feel, and blinking them one at a time never seems to be enough. He wants so badly to shut his eyes, to end their itchy, dry feeling. But he can't. Even with another watcher, it's too risky. There's suddenly a loud crack.
Whoa.
But D5933 doesn't move his eyes away from 173.
What?
He can see in his periphery that the other D-class dropped his broom and instinctively looked down at it. Luckily for him, there were others watching.
Okay, guys, I thought that somebody maybe unleashed some other SCP and then it killed one of the other D-class personnel. I thought maybe, I don't know, like SCP-173 decided that, yeah, he would just break all rules of the SCP universe and then just start attacking. But it seems like it was just the broom. So for now, I guess they're safe. For now.
D5933 shifts in place, taking a step back and bumps into something. He can't look at what it is, but he reaches behind him and feels that it's the other D-class watcher.
Okay, this is getting
Wait a
kind of
minute.
weird.
Why is he facing the other way?
Is there...
What are you doing? What's going
Wait.
on? He asks, his eyes never leaving SCP-173. What are you talking about? The other D-class asks back.
What's
You're
happening?
facing the wrong way. I'm facing the wrong way. You're facing the wrong way. We're supposed to be watching 173. What are you looking at?
What's happening?
I am looking at 173. What are you...
Guys, wait a second. Are there two SCPs? Did it somehow duplicate into two? Because if that's the case, guys, I don't know if they're gonna survive this encounter. I didn't realize that the sculpture SCP was able to duplicate. I've never heard of that before.
What are you looking at? D5933 doesn't know what's going on and starts to panic.
I
The one
would too.
cleaning is focused on his task.
Stop,
trying as hard
look
as
at-
he
look
can
at
to
the-
quickly
look at the
mop up
sculpture.
an especially dirty corner of the cell. It's the worst sound D5933 could have heard. Achoo!
No!
A sneeze, just
No!
inches behind his head, followed by the sound of bones
Oh!
being cracked.
See, guys, that's how you know he's dead. That guy just got destroyed. He got deleted.
A scream that was cut off too short, and then a sick thud as a body dropped to the floor. D5933 doesn't even have a chance to scream before a pair of concrete hands grab his neck and his own head is
Are
twisted
you
around.
serious?
To see another identical-looking sculpture staring back at him.
So it did multiply itself somehow, which I've watched videos about the sculpture SCP, guys, and I've never heard of this SCP ever multiplying. Like, it's supposed to be just one sculpture SCP, and that's all that you have to worry about, but there's two. And if there's two, that means there could be three, there could be 4, 5, there could be an infinite amount of these sculpture SCPs.
Ladies and gentlemen of the O5 Council, we have a problem.
Well,
The
yeah.
senior researcher is giving a presentation to a group who remain largely in the shadows, obscuring both their identities as well as their reactions to his horrendous news. SCP.
This will be their reaction. What? It can multiply? What? That's probably what their faces would look like if we could see them.
173, through means which we have not yet been able to determine, has multiplied.
What the heck?
No reaction from
Are
any
you
of the
kidding
figures
me?
Seated around the large curved table. The researcher in charge of SCP-173 waits for a response, anything at all. But after receiving none, he clears his throat and continues. We gave each of the new instances their own designation, SCP-173-1 and SCP-173-2. Two of the D-Class on observation duty during their regular cleaning of 173's cell were killed.
Wait, so that means this guy who was cleaning somehow made it out alive. He was able to look at both of the SCPs at the same time. That's honestly pretty impressive. His eyeballs were probably going like in two different directions.
The third was able to keep them both in his line of sight until they could be recontained and moved into separate cells.
Wow.
Again, no reaction from the shadows. But as you know, this wasn't the end of it. At some point, the instances of SCP-173 multiplied again, each splitting to form yet another instance.
Guys, I was right. So because there's 2, that means now there could be 3, there could be 4, and there's a confirmed 4 sculpture SCPs, which I don't know if I want to live in a world where there's more than just one of these absolutely terrifying creatures. Like, how are you supposed to contain 1, let alone 4, and they could just keep multiplying?
SCP-173-1 through 4 are all contained separately, but we don't know if or when another split will occur. The senior researcher waits, but no one on the O5 Council speaks or moves until the one seated in the very middle slides a piece of paper across the table in front of him. The senior researcher looks confused. He looks to the mobile task force guard stationed near the door, but he too remains expressionless, eyes locked straight ahead. The researcher, unsure of what else to do, steps away from the lectern and walks towards the table. He picks up the piece of paper and reads it. Object class, upgrade from Euclid to Keter. Orders. Continue observation.
So for those of you guys that don't know, there are 3 different classes when it comes to SCP. There's the safe class, which are SCPs that are, you know, like the title kind of says, safe. You don't really have to worry about them too much. Euclid class are SCPs that are kind of like neutral, where if you don't mess with them, they won't mess with you. And the Keter class SCPs are the ones that are extremely dangerous and need to be contained and monitored at all costs. So this guy just got upgraded from like a neutral class to a very aggressive, like red Keter class that they need to make sure stays contained, or else all havoc could break loose.
The senior researcher nods in agreement, thanks the O5 Council for their time, and leaves the room. Lights flash and siren blare in the halls of Site-19. It's a containment breach. Facility staff, researchers, and site guards all run down the hall, screaming, trying desperately to get away.
Seriously?
There's no hope for any of them, though. In a flash, SCP-173 instances appear behind them.
Okay, guys. Well, I mean, I get that this is definitely one of those instances that's super scary, but this is an SCP that, like, we know how to contain. All you have to do is look at it. So if there's a bunch of people that are like trapped with this SCP, all they have to do is go like back to back to back and then just take turns blinking like this. And if you just keep doing this, the SCP can't do anything. So as long as you're doing this, you know, forever, we're okay. You just got to do this until we figure out how to contain this guy. So, yeah.
Snapping their necks and dropping them to the floor before moving on to their next victim. There must be dozens of them. Even as a guard tries to keep their eyes on one instance, preventing it from moving, another appears behind them. The staff of Site-19 flee for their lives, screaming for someone, anyone to help them.
This is
the senior
crazy.
researcher presses pause on the video. The terrified face of the senior researcher who gave the last presentation is frozen on the screen. An instance of SCP-173 is directly behind them.
How did this
his hand
happen?
wrapped around his neck in the split second before his life was snuffed out. The new researcher giving the presentation looks considerably more frazzled than his predecessor. He explains to the O5 Council that following this horrific containment breach at Site-19, at least 61 instances of SCP-173 are now unaccounted for.
61?
It is still unknown how they are replicating, but worryingly, there is evidence that the process may be speeding up. He presses play on a new clip from the security footage, which shows what appears to be multiple instances of 173 working in tandem, some using their bodies to block exits, others creating choke points in the facility corridors. We have theorized that SCP-173, as we are now referring to the collective instances, may possess a form of hive intelligence. It also appears
so basically they all share the same brain of whatever the original SCP-173 is. So maybe if they can locate the original one that started the whole entire like clone multiplication process, maybe, and I'm just spitballing here, maybe if they destroy that somehow, some way, or at least contain it, then they'll be able to contain all of the other SCPs, but we really have no idea.
that this intelligence scales with the number of instances that are nearby. This allowed them to implement tactics that thwarted our containment efforts, as they used instances to block our containment teams from being able to pursue others. What you have in front of you is a proposal for revised special containment procedures. What I recommend may sound drastic, but it's what I truly believe is the only way to contain this threat.
You gotta do a nuclear bomb. Just nuke the whole place. Blow it up.
Shadows that obscure them. What I propose is that SCP-173 instances no longer be kept in containment cells, but instead placed inside of form-fitting metal containers. We can then use SCP-120 to transport the instances to the Foundation site on the lunar surface. The facility will have to be abandoned, of course.
I'd never heard of SCP-120, but I'm guessing that is some sort of safe class SCP that you could use to just teleport things wherever you really want to teleport them to. So that's pretty cool. Hold up, ladies and gentlemen. Did you guys get your cookie plushie yet? Because if you guys didn't check them out yet, make sure you guys scan this QR code right here. Or you guys can head over to BeckBroJack.co. You guys are definitely gonna wanna go quick because my brother Dirt Boy already bought 300 of them from the last time that I saw you. So if you guys want one, you should go get one. Back to the video.
It's too risky to maintain a presence there, but each of the instances will be fitted with a tracking collar to ensure that we will be able to detect if any of them are somehow able to escape. The senior researcher waits. After a time, a paper is once again slid across the table. He approaches and picks it up. He sees that it is the same folder containing the revised special containment procedures proposal.
So guys, the people that are giving these like special documents is the O5 Council, and they're basically like the people at the top of the SCP Foundation. They give out the orders, they make new SCP Foundation sites, they, discover new SCPs, and they basically are the people that are calling the shots. They're kind of like the presidents of the SCP Foundation.
He opens it to find that it has been stamped, approved.
Oh, cool. So that's the plan.
Breaking news flashes across the screen. A worried-looking reporter appears as though she didn't have time to do her hair or makeup before rushing on air to deliver this special report.
Okay.
She explains that civilian deaths across North America are now estimated to be more than 500,000 people in the last 48 hours, as these still unidentified creatures continue their deadly rampage across the continent.
Are you kidding me? The SCP Foundation completely failed, and they literally let the SCP go on a rampage. That is insane.
It is unknown how many of them there may be.
Hide your kids, hide your wife, just hide.
That there may be hundreds, if not thousands, or even tens of thousands of these living, neck-snapping sculptures. The reporter explains that rumors are circulating that the creature can be stopped by maintaining eye contact with it.
Yes.
But this has yet to be confirmed. There is still no official word from the White House or from any members of Congress, and their current location and status are unknown, following reports that most of Washington, D.C. was overrun by the creatures earlier that day. The reporter suddenly stops speaking.
Oh,
and
no.
a terrified look comes over her face.
Oh, they're
her
there.
eyes locked on something just off screen.
Oh, dude.
The camera pans over to show an instance of SCP.
The cameraman is an SCP.
P-173 standing over a dead cameraman.
Oh, no, that's
There's
the
a scream,
cameraman.
and the camera goes back to the reporter, who now lies dead on her desk.
All
her
right.
head twisted 180 degrees before there's another sound of bones breaking.
Okay.
A woman in an SCP researcher coat sits at a computer terminal in a secure bunker, a large, jeweled medallion around her neck.
Okay, that has to be an
Personal
SCP.
log of Dr. Bright. From the little news I've been able to gather, it sounds like SCP-173 has besieged and destroyed 4 Foundation facilities pretty much simultaneously in the last 24 hours. Each instance...
Guys, the sculpture is about to take over the entire world. Like, I knew this SCP was deadly, but the thing was, it was contained when there was just one of them. So if they ever, did multiply, this is probably what would happen.
shows the same strength as the original, and thousands of them working together are capable of ripping open concrete bunkers and compromising foot-thick steel doors.
Wow.
I alone have been killed 37 times in the last week. They can smell me somehow, regardless of what body I'm in. The majority decision of the remaining O5s is that this is an XK-class end-of-the-world scenario unfolding.
Oh my goodness.
And they're gonna deal with the problem, or else the Russians are. They're evacuating this base, which means there won't be a single Foundation scientist anywhere in the New World. They say they're gonna try to evacuate the surviving civilians, but I doubt it. There can't be more than a couple hundred people in all of North America anyway.
That's it?
I managed to make it down to a secure bunker, but who knows how long it will be until they're able to get in.
So I am kind of curious about one thing, guys, which I'm sure that you guys are too. How do the SCPs, how does the sculpture know where people are, right? Because they're going around and obviously they're destroying all of civilization, but it's kind of strange that they know exactly where to go. This location seems like it's in the middle of nowhere, and somehow these SCPs are able to track this person down and kill them. They're gonna break down this door, they're gonna go down into the bunker, and bada bing, bada boom, it's over. So I don't know how they're this smart, honestly. So comment down below if you have any ideas.
I don't think there's any chance I can get out either. I'm running out of food, and I'm not sure which will get me first. Hunger, the sculptures, or what I know the O5s will inevitably do. Dr.
What are they
Wright
going to
closes the
do?
computer terminal and sits back in her chair. She looks up at the ceiling of the bunker where the sound of concrete scratching against metal
Oh,
can be
they're
heard
there.
through the thick walls.
They're there, dude.
A sullen and tired-looking researcher steps out of a room in the makeshift foundation site that has been established just outside of Amsterdam in the Netherlands. He's holding a piece of paper and closes the door behind him, which has had O5 Council authorized entry only hastily painted on the outside. A small group of Foundation staff are waiting for him. They've gathered to hear what the overseers have decided to do in the face of this world-ending disaster. The researcher looks around at his colleagues' faces, and as they make eye contact,
it doesn't look
any
good.
hope they had is quickly replaced by the bad news they know is coming. He begins to read. Revised Special Containment Procedures. Containment Zone X1, formerly North and South America, is to be denied access. Following
What?
saturation nuclear bombing, the number of
What?
SCP-173 instances has been reduced.
I know I said that earlier, that they should have like nuked the original site, and it seems like they did that. It's just like a day a day too late, it seems. So yeah, they totally should have took my advice and done that at the start.
All available Foundation resources are to be redirected to monitoring the ocean to ensure the integrity of Containment Zone X1. Foundation adjuncts from national navies are to perform around-the-clock patrols and sonar sweeps. Detected instances are to be contained and removed to SCP-120 for transport to the lunar containment site. That's it? One of the staff members asks. That's it,
Wow.
the researcher replies. Several of those present begin to cry.
I mean,
There's
I
nothing more
would
they can
too.
do. Their homes,
It's
their
over.
friends, their families, all of them are gone. Killed either by the neck-wrenching sculptures or in the heat of a nuclear blast.
Guys, I know that this seems really bad, but imagine if instead of this sculpture, it was Shy Guy that could multiply. Shy Guy is an SCP that's, I think, even more powerful than the sculpture. So, like, just imagine that. Imagine, like, a million Shy Guys running around and then just destroying everything and everybody. That would be way worse than this. And you can't even really destroy them.
Why? Why did they have to do it? One of the other staff, who appears to be a former site guard, asks. That's all we could do, another argues. There's much disagreement in the small crowd. No matter how they feel, though, this was the official order from the O5 Council. Their word is law, especially in a world where all law and order outside of the Foundation has broken down. There really was no other option. All they can do now is hope that the sacrifice of 2 whole continents was enough to keep it contained, that SCP-173 is unable to cross the ocean to Europe, and that they remain safe on this side of the planet. The group grows quiet, mourning the loss of the world they once knew, when the silence is suddenly interrupted by someone running down the hall. It's another researcher, carrying his own piece of paper. He tries to push past the group towards the O5 Council's door, insisting that they let him through.
Mr. Glasses has a solution.
Wait, what is it? Demands the group. We deserve to know. The group wrestles the paper away from the junior researcher, and it is passed through the group to the same man who read the revised special containment procedures. He quickly reads the report. It's just a couple of lines, and his face goes white.
Oh.
What is it? What does it say? Comes a question from the crowd. A message from the North Atlantic Navy General Command. Verified sighting of SCP-173 in the United Kingdom. Nuclear bombardment authorized and executed.
What?
No survivors. SCP-173 has come for them.
How did it get over the ocean? How is that possible?
After watching that, guys, I don't think I'm ever gonna blink again, which is good because that means we can watch more SCP videos. Let's check out this next one. I don't know how long I can do this.
This is one of the highest requested
You're driving
SCPs.
down a desolate stretch of highway somewhere in New Mexico. There's nothing out here except for you, your car, and the road.
They always start out so
What
spooky.
you don't know is that you're about to encounter something. Something terrifying.
Of course.
moon.
Okay, this is going to
The
be a Keter
sky
class
is
for
pitch
sure.
black. Your own car is barely lighting up the dark road ahead of you. Just then, you spot something in your rearview mirror.
It's not going to be a
Pair of
car.
headlights. There's nothing too strange about them. except that they are
Oh,
especially
boys.
bright. Your eyes are so adjusted to the darkness that you have to look away. When you glance in the mirror again, you see that they're closer. Much closer.
Somebody has their high
They
beams
must be
on.
going awfully fast. You don't know why, but something about the car behind you makes you feel uneasy.
Yeah, maybe it's the fact that they have massively overpowered
Maybe you
headlights.
can keep some distance from them.
Speed up.
The lights keep getting closer.
Oh, no,
As you
no,
speed up a
no.
little more. Still, they gain on you, growing bigger and bigger in your rearview mirror. You're getting nervous. They look like they are barreling right towards you. You floor it. The lights are able to
Go,
keep
go,
up
go, go,
easily,
go.
though.
How?
And now, they're right on your tail. No matter how fast you go, they stay right behind you. The
That
lights
is
are
so
bright and
weird.
close that they're almost blinding. You're in a full-blown panic. What is going on? Now the lights are swerving back and forth behind you. What do they want? You take a sharp turn without indicating, but they follow you without difficulty.
Okay, that's the
You keep your
creepiest
foot
part.
Smashed down on the accelerator. Your engine is screaming, but they just get closer and closer. They're
Oh,
right
guys,
in
I'm
your
getting
bumper.
creeped out.
The bright white lights burn your eyes so bad that you swat at the rearview mirror to point it down. You look up just in time to see the
Whoa!
deer standing in the middle of the road. You slam on your brakes as
Wait, guys, is the deer a part of the SCP? Are they working together? Somehow does the SCP control the deer? I need answers to this.
hard as you can. Your tires squeal loudly in the night, and you brace yourself to both hit the deer and get rear-ended from behind. You stop inches from the deer as something incredible happens.
The deer didn't
two
even move.
headlights seem to split,
Huh?
passing by you on either side of your car.
It
You and the
wasn't
deer
a
lock
car?
eyes for a split second, as if you're both thinking, "What was that?" Before the deer hops away into the night. You don't know what's happening, but you're not going to wait around to find out. You throw the car in reverse and hit the gas.
Okay, guys, I want you to comment down below what you would do in that particular situation. I mean, at the start, I would probably, if I am on a road in the middle of the desert, and somebody is riding my butt, I would probably tell them to, like, pass. Like, usually if you're driving, you could be like, hey, if you want to speed, you could go in front of me. And I would start with that. And then if they didn't do that, then I would get really creeped out. I would probably call my mom and have my mom come pick me up because my mom would fight them. But if that doesn't work, and then I kept going faster and the headlights split and swerved around me, I would probably think that it's like two motorcycles that were riding next to each other and they're just being weird, like playing a prank on me. And then they dodged me at the very last second. But if it wasn't that, I guess, I don't know, maybe the SCP literally is just like a light that flies around. I have no idea what it looks like yet, so I'm kind of curious to see.
Before whipping it around 180 degrees. You can't remember how far the last town was, but there's no chance you're going in the direction of those lights. You drive as fast as you can, checking your mirror constantly to see if anything is behind you.
Oh,
Nothing.
if they come back,
Just
I am going to
darkness.
freak out, boys.
You're finally safe. No, they're
Nope,
right in front
nope,
of you.
nope.
The lights
Oh,
somehow
no.
appear out of nowhere, right in front of your car. You turn the wheel hard to avoid a head-on collision, and you go flying off the road,
Oh,
smashing
no.
your head against the window.
Oh,
as the
dude.
car goes flipping and rolling and tumbling. The car comes to a stop.
You should have
100
just
feet off the
smashed
road,
them.
upside down, with a lone blinking turn signal dimly lighting up the surrounding field. A single headlight approaches the car.
Just a
It's not
single
moving
one.
like a vehicle. It's moving like an animal.
Oh my
You're concussed
gosh,
from the
what
accident,
is
and your
this
vision
thing?
is starting to fade. The last thing you see is a second light approaching. The next morning, the local sheriff
That's
is
it?
investigating the scene of a single car accident. Curiously, there's no body. Just
Oh
a few scraps of
my
clothing and a
God.
pair of tennis shoes sitting neatly in the upside down.
Guys, I just got goosebumps all over my body. So whatever this SCP is, it went over and it either A, ate whoever that guy was, or B, it kidnapped the guy and like brought it back to its lair. I don't know exactly how smart this SCP is. Some of them are kind of just like animalistic in nature. Like they kind of just do the things that they got to do to survive and get food. So it could be that where they just ate the guy just to survive, or B, they have some weird sinister plans and they have like a lair, and it's a lot more intelligent than we think. Unlike me, I have 2 brain cells.
Roof of the car. Strangest, though, are the childlike handprints all over the dirty car door.
Childlike handprints?
The sheriff doesn't know what to think.
That's weird.
What the sheriff doesn't know is that he has just come upon the aftermath of an SCP-745 attack.
What?
A strange
Okay, all right. That's what we've been watching this entire time. That is insane, dude. That looks like the Pixar lamp had a child with like a velociraptor. What the actual flip? That is crazy. And obviously, it's a carnivore. Look at those teeth. They are the sharpest teeth. It basically has like dinosaur T-Rex teeth. So you know for a fact that dude is dead. That dude is deader than dead on a Tuesday morning. And the weirdest part is its mouth like isn't even on its face. It's like on its neck, which is just even more creepy.
and mysterious creature known as the headlights. SCP-745
that makes sense.
is
It looks like headlights.
the SCP Foundation has given to a bipedal nocturnal predator, whose hunting grounds are an abandoned stretch of highway in northern New Mexico. SCP-745's most distinctive feature by far is its head.
Well, yeah, it's not the tail.
Is a bloated sack of translucent skin. There are no visible sensory organs present on the head, nor does it appear to have a solid skull. And the creature's brain can be directly seen through the semi-transparent skin, which is covered in a web of bioluminescent organs.
So if that guy, when the headlights were running at him, if he just ran them over, he probably would have been okay. Instead, obviously, he thought it was a car, which would be way worse if you're, coming into a head-first collision with another car. You're probably gonna die. But if he knew that these were actually just like dinosaur Pixar lamps, then maybe he could have survived.
These organs are capable of producing a steady output of light that's been measured between 1400 to 3200 lumens, which is the equivalent
that sounds
of
pretty bright
xenon gas headlights.
Right, okay.
The entity has been observed to have the ability to change the color of this light.
Okay, that's
as well
really
as flash
cool.
It in specific patterns.
I need this
It
for
is
my gaming
theorized
setup.
that it engages in this behavior as a way to defend itself, and potentially
what?
may also use it as a way to communicate with other members of.
Also, guys, are you seeing this right now? It looks like this creature has more arms than... Okay, wait, does it? I'm kind of confused. The arms are looking really weird. Like, I didn't realize that they could put their arms out to the side, so it kind of looks like they're wings, but the one on the left, I don't know, like the legs kind of look like feet, and the feet kind of look like hands, and I'm very, very confused.
Of its species. The rest of SCP-745's body is covered in skin that is a deep, dark, black color that almost seems to absorb light. This quality, when paired with their blindingly bright head protrusion, gives the appearance of a floating point of light in the darkness.
Whoa.
Because SCP-745 entities hunt almost exclusively in pairs, with their preferred hunting grounds being remote sections of highway, they are easily mistaken for oncoming or approaching headlights. Two SCP-745 entities are able to move together in perfect synchronicity, running in tandem at speeds up to 180 kilometers per hour. Together,
are
they
you
will target
joking?
lone vehicles that they spot on the highway, and will begin to chase or run straight towards them.
I'm also kind of curious, guys. They've mentioned that this SCP can change colors of the light that's on its forehead, but can it like turn off the light if it wanted to? That would be really overpowered because it could basically just like disappear at a moment's notice, especially if it hunts at night and the entire body is pitch black. I guess they could make the light black, but that probably wouldn't work. Honestly, you would still be able to see it. So if they could turn off the light, that would be just even more deadly.
Giving the unlucky driver the impression that a fast-moving car is rapidly approaching them. After they near the targeted car, they will attempt to stop it by any means necessary, whether by simply forcing the driver to pull over out of fear,
did they
or by running them
put
off
the
the
deer
road
there?
completely. Once their prey has stopped, crashed, or become otherwise incapacitated, the pair will stop moving together and approach the car separately to directly assault and then consume the vehicle's occupants.
Okay, so he did get
Next to no
eaten.
remains are left following an attack, save for a few scraps of clothing in the victim's shoes. Other than the damage sustained during the accident, there is never any other sign of struggle or forced entry, with the only other evidence left at the scene being the childlike handprints from SCP-745's small front paws.
Interesting, okay.
Strangely, analysis of SCP-745's genetic structure has revealed that unlike humans, they are not a carbon-based life form, meaning
What?
it is unlikely
They're
then
aliens?
that they are able to derive any nutrition from the consuming of human flesh.
They're just doing it for
is
fun?
theorized then that they may be hunting solely for sport or some other form of perverse enjoyment.
What?
This question remains unanswered, as currently there are no recorded observations of SCP-745 feeding in the wild.
Well, yeah, that kind of makes sense considering that there was a deer in the road that they could have easily captured and eaten if they wanted to, but they obviously did not. And they ran this dude off the road in his vehicle and apparently killed him not because they needed to eat, but because they did it for fun, which is 10 times scarier.
As successful attacks have never left any witnesses.
Wow.
And specimens captured by the SCP Foundation refuse to eat at all. No layers, nests, or other refuge of SCP-745 has ever been found.
So they're basically
nor has
aliens.
the Foundation located any breeding grounds or young examples of the entity. It's unknown how or if they reproduce, or when they may have first appeared. What is known is that they had established a wide hunting territory across the American Southwest until Foundation teams began a program to thin their numbers in the 1960s.
1968.
The effort appears to have been successful so far, and all recent
it's
sightings
working.
of SCP-745 have been limited to a specific stretch of highway in northern New Mexico.
Okay, if you guys are there, just be on the lookout, you
Has
know.
been classified as Euclid, and in order to limit potential exposure to civilians, the Foundation has purchased the land surrounding the highway, with
That's
traffic
smart.
being redirected to other roads. Foundation security teams disguised as highway patrol officers are to remove any trespassers or lost travelers who accidentally find themselves on the dangerous stretch of highway. The security teams are also tasked with attempting to capture any instances of SCP-745
How?
that they can.
Oh, with a net.
And any recovered creatures, live or dead, are to be loaded into Class 3 BCU storage containers and transferred to Site 17 for further study.
So it doesn't seem like the SCP has any like crazy abilities other than the fact that it has a giant light bulb on its brain and that can change colors. That's like the only cool ability that it seems to have. It doesn't have anything like the prototype, for example, can like make a black hole out of thin air. So it's basically like an animal in the wild, but we have animals like this, just like obviously not on land. We have tons and tons of fish in the sea that have this like same sort of bioluminescent feature where like it looks like they have a light bulb. Obviously you guys have probably seen Nemo, and there's a fish in the movie that literally has like a little tiny dangling light bulb, very similar to this SCP's light bulb that is basically like on its head, that is used as a distraction to basically get its prey to like, I don't know, just like think something different, that there's no actual danger. And then as soon as they get close enough, boom, they're dead. So it's kind of the same exact thing, but we don't have anything like it on land. I mean, unless we're counting this SCP as real.
Containment procedures that are able to preserve living specimens are still being researched, and currently, no examples of SCP-745 have survived for more than a week in captivity.
Poor guy.
However, seeing as there have been no new sightings of SCP-745 outside
Are they
of the
extinct?
isolated and monitored stretch of highway, and all reports of phantom lights elsewhere in the country have not pointed to evidence of additional SCP-745 outbreaks, they are considered to be effectively contained. The man and woman's hike through a gently rolling portion of the Rocky Mountains has just taken a turn for the dangerous. There's something there in the bush, the man tells her before stepping in front of her in a defensive pose.
Yeah, defend
They
your
watch the bush
woman.
intently. There's a slight rustling
What is
of the
it?
leaves as if
Ew,
something
dude, it
is
looks like a
inside.
tree butthole.
The man picks up a stick from the ground and holds it in front of him, ready to strike whatever fearsome beast is lurking in the
Okay,
undergrowth.
let's be real. If that's like a grizzly bear, my guy is about to get ripped apart into like a billion different pieces, and she's looking at him like she knows it. If she's smart, she should probably start running immediately.
Brush. The rustling stops, but the man doesn't move from his protective stance.
He is sweating bullets
"Do you
right
think it's
now.
gone?" The woman asks.
I don't think
the man
so.
isn't sure. He leans in towards the bush, searching for signs of what might be hiding inside when
Oh!
the man screams
What
and
is
falls
it?
backwards as the creature emerges from the bush.
What?
The woman cries. It's a pika. She kneels down to get a closer look at the adorable little creature.
It was just
Pikas
a
are
little
native to this
rodent.
part of Colorado,
Oh my
and they resemble
gosh.
rabbits, but with small, rounded ears.
He looks
She
so
watches it
stupid
hop back
now.
off the trail before turning around to see
Wait.
her friend lying tangled in the branches of a tree.
Guys, check that out. Okay, that is no ordinary tree. That has to be SCP-867, which has the nickname the Blood Spruce. I have no idea what this thing does, but based on its name, it can't be anything good.
Tree. She can't help but laugh as she offers a hand to help pull him out of his predicament. Are you all right? She asks between fits of laughter. Yes, he's fine. The only thing hurt was his pride. He notices a small red spot
Oh,
on his
no.
arm and rubs it, but it doesn't seem to
Guys,
hurt at all.
I think he got
His attention is
infected.
diverted by the woman, though, who is marveling at the tree he was just stuck in. Free of the branches, he can appreciate now that the tree really is incredible. It looks like a huge
Whoa.
blue spruce, but the name is a complete misnomer.
Wow.
Because this tree is a vibrant red color. I've never seen anything like it, she says, and the man hasn't either. Neither knows what species it is, and strangely, there don't seem to be any others like it.
It's so much
Maybe this
bigger
is
than the
result
other
of an odd
trees.
genetic defect that turns blue spruces red.
Huh.
After admiring the tree for a moment, the pair decides that they've hiked far enough and that they should probably head back to the car. She jokes that he's likely exhausted from his run-in with a wild animal. He laughs, but clearly his ego
Oh,
has been
that's so
bruised.
funny. He's gonna die soon. He's definitely. See, guys, look, there's a
The
skull
man
and
stops
bones.
his car in
This
front of
guy's
the
going
woman's
to
house,
die.
and she thanks him for taking her on the hike. As she starts to get out, though, he stops her. He asks if she wants to go do something else, like Dinner?
Wait, guys, okay, so I like to make predictions during these SCP videos, and I have a prediction. I don't know, it's kind of weird, but we know that that was definitely the Blood Spruce SCP, and we know that he fell into the tree, he has a little bump on his arm, so he's definitely 100% infected. Now, I'm curious, because we saw like bones and we saw stuff like a skull around the other blood spruce, I'm wondering if maybe that's how this thing multiplies. Maybe it infects people or animals, and then it like basically starts spawning a tree out of the infected area. That's what I think right now, based on the information that we have, but make sure you guys comment down below what you think, and don't cheat. I know some of you guys might fast forward and then comment down below what actually happens. Don't do that. Just make some guesses down below right now in the comments. Do it.
The woman thanks him for his offer, but she has to be up early the next day for work. Just a quick drink then? An hour? 30 minutes? The woman tries her best to let her friend down easy, explaining that she likes him as a friend and as only that.
Ooh.
The man opens his mouth to respond,
Rejected.
but she stops him.
He doesn't have that Ohio skibbity riz.
He wouldn't try to take advantage of it by using it as a backdoor to dating her. The man again looks like his pride has been shattered.
Wow.
He apologizes and admits that she is right.
Not only did this guy get scared by a squirrel, he got infected by an SCP, and he also got rejected by the love of his life. This guy took 3 major L's today.
2 weeks later, when the man's phone rings.
Oh, 2 weeks later.
She explains that she's been thinking a lot about what he said in the car, and that she likes spending time with him too.
No!
Maybe there could be something more
I mean,
to their
that's great
relationship.
for him, but
The man can't believe
we
it.
both know
Is
that
really
this
happening?
guy is not
The
going
woman
to
is
make
serious.
it.
She'd like to take him up on that dinner offer, if he's still interested. Her treat.
Oh,
she wants to know what
gosh.
he's doing right.
Oh, there it is, boys.
Is he okay? What was that
No.
sound? Yes, I'm fine. It was nothing, the man tells her. It's just that now's not a good time. The woman doesn't understand. She thought he'd want to see her. She explains that she's leaving town for a work trip the next day and will be gone for a couple of weeks. She was hoping she could see him before she left, but the man cries
Oh,
out
dude,
again.
he is
He
infected
tells her
right
that he hasn't
now.
been feeling well all day.
No.
That he'll be all right. Okay, well,
He's not
get well
going to
soon.
be okay,
I'll
guys.
call you when I get back. They exchange goodbyes.
Oh, wait, look
and
at
the
his
man hangs up
skin.
the phone.
He's green?
The man
Oh,
looks terrible.
oh my
His
gosh,
skin is
yeah.
pale, and his
Yes,
face
he
looks
does.
hollow and gaunt.
No.
He looks down at his arm. And sees
Ew.
that the veins themselves appear to be moving,
What?
pulsing, and vibrating.
Ah, that's
He screams
gross.
again in agony and falls
That
to
is
the floor,
disgusting.
clutching his arm. After writhing on the floor, he manages to summon the strength to reach for the phone. His hand searches on the table above
Ew,
him.
it looks like he's
Eventually,
wearing a
able to knock it onto the
glove,
floor.
but it's actually just his
He grabs
own
the phone
hand.
and starts to dial. 911. Before he can press 1
do it,
again,
do it.
another wave
Ah,
of intense
no.
searing pain consumes him. Several weeks later, the woman
Oh,
is
she
standing outside the
came
man's
to his house.
Mail and newspapers are piled up on his front porch, as if no one has been in or out in some time.
So I guess this guy must not have like any family or friends. He's kind of a loner because nobody has checked up on him in multiple weeks, other than this girl.
She knocks on the door, but there's no response. Hello? She calls out, but still nothing.
He turned into a tree,
She's
lady.
tried calling him several times, but he never answered or returned her messages. She tries the doorknob, and to her surprise, the front door swings open.
Okay, that's kind of
She steps
sus.
inside, and the room is dark. She's also immediately hit by a strong aroma of
Death.
She searches on the wall. And
maybe I
finds
was
the
right.
switch. She turns on the lights and can't believe what she sees standing in front of her.
Oh, I
There
was
in the middle of the
right.
Is a massive spruce tree.
What?
Its upper branches pressing against the
That
ceiling.
is insane.
She reaches out and touches the tree's
Ugh.
vivid red branches. They feel sticky and wet. She pulls her
Oh,
hand away
ew,
and
ew.
looks down to see that it's covered in a red substance. That's when she notices something else.
The dead body.
Stuck in the
Oh
trunk
my god. Oh, okay.
of her friend.
So guys, I was right. I mean, this is a horrible time to pause, but I was right. So this thing infects the person, and then it turns their body into like fertilizer for a tree to spawn. Now guys, I'm pretty sure there's a type of mushroom that does this as well. It's very weird, but I remember watching a video after I played the Last of Us game, which is about like this mushroom virus that can like take over different organisms. And there actually is a mushroom out there called cordyceps that does something similar to this. But luckily, it can only take over like small insects like ants, but it can actually like take over their brain and then it starts spawning in the mushroom from their body. It is super weird, but it's like a real life SCP.
Unfortunately, this pair would never have the opportunity to see their feelings take root and grow, because unbeknownst to
Dr.
them,
Bob just cooked with that one.
is actually a very deadly anomaly, known to the SCP Foundation as SCP-867, but which is perhaps better known by its very appropriate nickname,
The Blood Spruce.
SCP-867 is, or at least appears to be, quite similar to the species of tree Pisceae pungens.
I've never
better
seen that
known
tree
as the
before.
blue spruce.
That is such a cool looking
Of course,
tree.
There are a number of dramatic differences between 867 and its non-anomalous counterpart.
I mean, yeah, we can see, first off, the blood spruce is like double the size, and secondly, it's a different color.
Visually, and most obvious, is the coloration. While blue spruces, as the name implies, are typically a blue-green color, SCP-867 is a deep, vibrant red. There's another major visual difference too, with the blood spruce lacking any sort of seed cones that you would normally expect to
Oh,
find.
interesting.
With no pine cones to protect and spread seeds, you'd be right to ask how SCP-867 goes about reproducing.
We already
The
know.
answer to that question is what makes this beautiful tree such a dangerous anomaly. The secret to how SCP-867 reproduces is found in its leaves. While they look like pine needles, SCP-867's leaves are, in fact, needles.
Oh,
Their structure is very
what?
similar to that of hypodermic needles, and each one contains a single long, thin seed, which sits above a small gas pocket at the base.
Are you
When a living
serious?
creature touches the leaves, the tree immediately
Oh!
reacts. It triggers the gas pocket in the base of the
Wow.
leaf to release, which injects the seed into the skin of whatever touched it. The process is quite similar to that found in auto-injectors, like
Guys, this is insane. So just like a lot of SCP videos that we've watched in the past, there's like, I don't know, just like some part of it feels like it could be real. Like obviously we know about porcupines and they have like really sharp, basically needles as their defense mechanism. And we also know that pine trees and like other trees in existence like thorns, they just like, they can pretty much like prick you and then cause you to bleed. Now, luckily, nothing that we know of actually exists today that like shoots a seed inside of you, which would be super weird. But I don't know, there's something about these SCPs where they're like almost real enough. It just feels like it could be real. Like if somebody, like let's say, Albert Einstein sat me down and he was like, yeah, there's a tree that can shoot you with the seed and then, you know, a tree will grow out of your body. I would believe it. I would be like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Darwin definitely studied that one, 400 years ago. That just sounds like evolution to me. But luckily, it's just an SCP, so we're safe for now, I think.
those used to quickly treat allergic reactions. The seed itself is extremely small and is coated in a liquid that has both anesthetic and coagulant properties.
So you can't feel
which makes
it.
the process virtually undetectable. Once implanted in the skin, these seeds can lay dormant for up to 2 weeks before they begin the germination process, and the true horror of SCP-867 is revealed. Once the seeds begin to sprout and grow, they will not seek to penetrate through the skin like a plant rising out of the soil. Instead, the strange plant will grow within its host's body, spreading throughout the circulatory system. This process is extremely painful for the host.
bet.
The plant's tendrils wind through their veins and
my
capillary
gosh.
system, stretching and pressing against them.
It
as the
literally
blood stream
takes
grows
over
within
the
them.
person's entire
Eventually,
organ
the ever-increasing
system.
size of the plant's tendrils becomes too much, and the veins will begin to rupture. This leads to severe
I don't
internal
like it.
bleeding, and soon after, the death of the host.
Okay,
The
okay.
entire process is quite quick, with it only taking 24 hours from when the seeds first sprout to the host dying. But that single day will feel like an eternity to the afflicted individual as they feel the plant rapidly growing inside of their body.
Okay, so it did only
But even
take
though the
one
host has
day.
expired, this parasitoid tree is far from finished with them, or at least their body. Soon after death, a new
Oh
instance of
my
the blood spruce
pimple.
will burst from the body. The red tree is quite small at first, but it will continue to quickly grow, just as it did within its host's body, and can reach maturity in just 30 days.
What?
And unlike most other plants,
What?
SCP-867 is able to grow regardless of light or soil conditions.
how?
Because it does not produce food via photosynthesis. No, this plant is carnivorous.
Hey guys, it's me again. You just saw me 2 seconds ago, but if you guys have been watching the video for this long, you guys are now officially members of the Cookie Club. As a member of the Cookie Club, you guys seriously need to get your very own cookie plushie. Like, there's no way you guys have watched this video for over an hour and haven't scanned this QR code right here, or checked out BeckBroJack.co. If you already did it, great. If not, definitely go check it out, and make sure you guys use code Bessie for 10% off. All right, Cookie Club, let's get back to the video.
As it grows, the 867 will slowly consume its host's body until nothing remains except the blood red tree.
So how does it eat
Instances
after it runs out of the person?
Were first identified in Colorado during the 1990s, following reports of numerous disappearances of hikers and park rangers. The SCP Foundation dispatched a team to the area to investigate, and they soon discovered numerous instances of the previously unidentified tree.
So that basically means that 3 people were out there, and then they all like basically died, and then the trees sprouted out of nowhere.
Several still young specimens were acquired, though unfortunately, this led to the deaths of several agents.
How?
We're not yet aware of just how dangerous the red spruces could be.
How did you not
Once their
know?
threat level was properly assessed, several specimens were flagged for containment and research purposes, while all of the other identified instances still in the wild
That's what you should do to this SCP. Burn it with a flamethrower.
SCP-867 were classified as Euclid and are now securely kept at a Foundation biocontainment site. Direct human contact with the plants is normally not allowed, and remote rovers are used for the majority of tests and upkeep.
That's a big brain play right there.
If it is necessary for a human to enter 867's containment cell, they are to wear full hazmat suits with a Kevlar underlayer, and upon exiting the cell, must undergo a full herbicidal treatment and inspection. Should any possible puncture marks be discovered, they will be forced to quarantine for no less than 15 days. Ah, nature. It's so beautiful.
Wait a second, why would they quarantine for 15 days when they just said earlier in the video that it only takes 24 hours for this thing to kill the person? That was kind of weird.
Full and calming, yet seems determined to try and kill us in any number of ways. If you're out hiking or camping in the woods, try to remember this extremely famous adage which I may or may not have just made up. It goes, leaves of 3, let them be. Needles of red, well, you're probably already dead.
This is SCP-682.
SCP-682 must be destroyed as soon as possible.
Okay, so they already want to get rid of it.
SCP Foundation file on the dreaded SCP-682.
It looks terrifying. Look at that. It looks like a giant crocodile, but it's like it's like furry. It actually has like a spine bone sticking out of it. Its ribs are exposed. So its nickname is the hard to destroy reptile. Obviously, it looks like a reptile, but supposedly this thing is practically impossible to get rid of.
Begins the SCP Foundation file on the dreaded SCP-682, a highly intelligent reptilian monster that has, despite the Foundation's best efforts, proved impossible to kill.
They're just pointing a bunch of guns at it. What's that gonna do?
Considering that some are capable of eliminating entire realities.
Wait,
but it's
what?
one of the most iconic. And you've probably heard tales of the monster that death forgot, and you know exactly why everyone is so afraid of the so-called hard-to-kill reptile.
So this SCP is, in the SCP universe, one of the most dangerous SCPs, since there isn't really a way to get rid of it. Yeah, if I was a D-class personnel, I would not want to go near this thing.
The Foundation could devise.
They got lasers?
Attacks from some of its
statue?
fellow SCPs. But
They
before we
can't
tell you
even
about
touch
the
it.
Foundation's many failed assassination attempts against the so-called hard-to-kill reptile,
I wonder if Shy Guy could beat it
we need a little
up.
more groundwork on what this creature even is. The first thing to know about SCP-682 is that this thing wants you and everything you know dead.
All right, well, that's enough for today. I don't want to learn about this thing anymore. It wants me dead. And you can't even destroy the thing, so how am I supposed to fight back if I ever encounter it? I know it's not real,
Unlike
but in
some
my
other
nightmares,
creatures like
I don't know that it's not real.
SCP-096 and
It's gonna pop up there, I know for sure.
SCP-173, which are murderous but exhibit no real higher processing skills.
All right, so they're just murdering monsters.
SCP-682 possesses cunning,
Awesome.
advanced reasoning, and even human-level logical intelligence.
That's creepy.
SCP-682 can engage you in conversation, but just talking to the creature calmly and cordially will sometimes cause it to enter its rage state. Where it becomes even more dangerous and
So you're saying I could be sipping a coffee, having a casual conversation with the SCP-682, and that would cause it to get angry, even though it's talking back to me. We could be talking about the weather. I'm like, hey, you know, what a great, fantastic day we're having today. And it gets so mad that it just kills me. I don't like this thing.
The beast is perpetually kept in a tank of powerful hydrochloric acid, melting its tissue to prevent it from reaching its full potential and
wait a
going
second,
on a rampage.
How do you kill this thing?
The creature's most terrifying asset, and the reason it's proven impossible to terminate thus far, is its incredible adaptability to any and all external
It just gained armor. It just turned into steel.
682 is a reactive
it's like Wolverine.
being, capable of not only surviving and regenerating from all attacks, but often incorporating those attacks into its own wide
this
arsenal.
thing should be in
other words,
X-Men Academy.
If you're hoping to kill this thing, you better kill it on the first hit. Because
how are you gonna kill it though?
You better believe it's gonna
By
hit
the
you
end of the
back
day, I hope we
100
learn how we
times
kill this
harder.
thing, so I know how to get rid of it.
This brings us to the main event. Some of the SCP Foundation's most ambitious and frightening attempts to terminate SCP-682, or even understand how it could theoretically be terminated. There are quite literally too many unsuccessful attempts for us to list them all here, so think of this as a highlight reel of the Foundation's most prominent failures.
So they don't even know of a way to kill this thing, or at least that's what they're saying, is like they have a ton of epic fails of different ways that they've tried to kill this thing. They've probably tried lasers, they've tried guns, they've tried bombs. Have they tried a nuclear bomb? Because that could be pretty effective.
682 was first cross-tested with SCP-017, a humanoid shadow entity shown to be able to consume matter with its shadows and leave no traces behind.
All right, so it's like a black hole shadow.
Tissue samples from 682 showed that SCP-017 was able to consume said tissues with no adverse effects.
Okay, so can it
However,
just eat
when
the
SCP-017
reptile?
was placed into the containment chamber with the actual creature, 682 let out a horrific roar that was so loud it damaged nearby audio equipment. SCP-017 fled to the corner of the room, and 682, in its rage state, attempted to breach containment.
Oh my gosh, it got so mad that it almost killed a shadow.
No meaningful damage was logged. Attempt failed.
Yeah, attempt failed horribly.
The killer statue was later brought in, hoping that its thus far impeccable track record for killing would hold strong. The second that 173 was introduced into the testing area, 682 retreated to the far wall and began screeching intensely. It was intelligent enough to know what it was dealing with here. While the researchers and guards expected an instantaneous reaction, there was actually a stalemate for over 6 hours.
6 hours! So for those of you guys that don't know about the statue SCP, as long as you look at it, then it won't attack. It's kind of like a weeping angel in that way. So I guess the SCP, the hard to destroy reptile, just stared at the statue and nothing happened. He has 999 IQ.
Stared at 173 continuously. Eventually, the tie was broken when agents shot out 682's eyes with high-caliber sniper rifles.
Snap.
Breaking the line of sight and causing 173 to attack.
Holy smokes!
682 sustained damage to several parts of its body. While its eyes regenerated, the creature was not killed. It then regenerated a number of eyes all over its body, covered in a clear armored carapace that made them resistant to bullets.
Oh my god, okay, so this thing is highly adaptable. They said that earlier, but this just takes it to the next level. It just has eyeballs all over its body now so that it can stare at the statue SCP and then it can no longer be attacked by it.
The stalemate continued for an additional 12 hours as 682 maintained perpetual eye contact. 173 was eventually removed from the containment unit, and the mission was aborted. Attempt failed.
Attempt failed, for sure.
The SCP Foundation restored to bringing in another dangerous and seemingly unkillable monster to take on 682. SCP-096.
Yes,
also
my
known
boy!
As the Shy Guy.
Shy Guy, he's dangerous.
SCP fans will already know, this being kills anything that sees its face.
Yeah.
With no known exceptions. And when it enters its attack mode, it's thought to be quite literally unstoppable.
This thing, one time, somebody looked at it, went deep into a submarine in the ocean, and somehow Shy Guy SCP broke out of its containment zone and it traveled all the way into the ocean just to kill the person that looked at it. That is the ultimate level of shyness.
And when it enters its attack mode, it's thought to be quite literally unstoppable. Or at least, it was. While SCP-096 was able to destroy 85% of 682's original body mass during their 27-hour battle.
27 hours?
It was left mentally broken.
No
wounded,
way.
And huddled in the corner. To this day, if ever confronted with SCP-682, the Shy Guy reacts in pure terror, turning away and clawing at its own face.
That's the only time that Shy Guy has been beat. SCP-682 is built different.
turning away and clawing at its own face.
That's crazy.
Attempt failed.
I honestly thought
During
the
a
Shy Guy
deadly
would stand a better
containment
chance.
breach, SCP-682 also went head-to-head organically with another iconic SCP Hall of Famer, SCP-106, also known as the Old Man.
Oh, the Old
and a
Man's crazy
shape-shifting
powerful.
psionic anomaly known as SCP-953 broke into 682's containment cell. The Old Man pulled both of his fellow anomalous combatants into his pocket dimension to continue the battle on his terms. However, despite losing 67% of his body mass during the ensuing pocket dimension showdown, 682 still prevailed.
How is that possible? So the other SCPs, they're doing tons of damage to the hard-to-destroy reptile, but none of them have been able to 100% destroy it. So far, Shy Guy got the closest. He did 85% damage, but you know, it ended up being a stalemate, so nobody technically won or lost there.
Body mass during the ensuing pocket dimension showdown, 682 still prevailed, with the Old Man eventually fleeing back to his cell.
They just
953
ran away?
being collected and taken away by agents.
No
Once
way.
again, SCP-682 continued to hold the title.
I can't
But
believe it. So
wasn't just
what can beat this
cross-testing
thing?
experiments, intentional or otherwise. The SCP Foundation's quest to kill 682 led them to a number of more conventional murder methods, all
Nuclear
with varying
bombs,
degrees
nuclear
of
bombs,
success.
nuclear bombs.
Due to SCP-682's highly adaptive abilities, some methods were discounted from the outset.
Like what?
For example, launching a powerful thermonuclear missile at the creature was soundly rejected by O5 Command.
Crap.
On the premise that if the
Why
creature
not?
wasn't destroyed and evolved to the point where it could shrug off nukes,
Oh,
humanity
true.
would be pretty much done for.
Yeah,
Other
that would
ideas were
basically be
abandoned just for being
Godzilla.
too ridiculous, such as one researcher's suggestion to fly the creature through the air and drop it from a considerable height, hoping to kill it with a high-altitude impact.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
think
not
that
sure
it would
we
die.
even need to tell you why that's a terrible idea, but during the experiments on SCP-682, the studies range from honest to incompetent to straight-up evil.
Like what?
One guest researcher fed 2 small innocent children to the creature just to see
Yo!
what would happen. He
What?
was then himself
What do you think is going to happen, my guy? This man just let 2 children go into a containment center with the strongest, most dangerous SCP creature.
just to see what would happen.
man should go
he
to
was then
jail.
himself fed to the creature for
Okay.
his sadistic behavior,
Yeah, that's- okay,
which was
good.
viewed
That's
as getting
worse
in
than
the
jail.
way of his professional conduct. After all, the Foundation is meant to be cold, not cruel. It was SCP-682 that had the monopoly on cruelty. Memetic kill agents were a resounding failure. They attempted to dismember 682 with a powerful laser, only to have
yeah,
the creature
it's not gonna
develop
work.
reflective surfaces that displaced the beam and caused
Nothing can kill
catastrophic
it.
damage to the area around it.
Nothing at
They
all.
attempted to kill the creature by sucking all the air out of its containment facility and
It just
create a
adapted,
vacuum.
didn't it?
But it expelled a dangerous gaseous compound that reacted violently and exploded
way.
when air was once again introduced into
Holy
the room.
smokes.
The Foundation used high-precision blades to slice SCP-682 into approximately 12,000 pieces, then
Wait, so they're actually able to chop it up. Like, they can do damage to this thing, but it either regenerates, it adapts, or it just eventually just, you know, turns into something that it wasn't before and just becomes way too powerful.
approximately 12,000 pieces.
Right
then
now, yeah,
separated
it's
these
literally,
pieces.
it's separated.
Unsurprisingly, by this point, this attempt also failed.
Did it multiply?
The 12,000 pieces reformed a short while later into
No
the fully
way.
operational killing machine we
No
all know and
way.
fear. In one particularly frightening display of intelligence and adaptability, the Foundation attempted to kill 682 with extreme heat, but it shielded itself by developing a second carapace composed of solid helium. When personnel entered the room
okay.
following the failed attempt on the creature's life, it shattered its helium carapace into deadly shards that fired around the room and shredded all Foundation personnel in attendance.
What?
It had set a trap, and that trap had been wildly successful. The creature's ability
I
to
can't
adapt to
believe this
seemingly
thing.
any offense is unparalleled.
I've never seen an SCP like this before, and that's why this is the strongest SCP, at least that I've seen.
To the point where Foundation staff have no idea how to classify this creature, whether it's organic, inorganic, or even alive at all based on any definitions we could understand. At every turn, the creature just raised more questions. What is it? Is it possible
know.
to destroy it at all by any
No.
means?
No.
Who is
The
even
answer is
trying
no.
to kill who here? Because
I
it
think they're
certainly
trying to
seemed
kill
like
it.
SCP-682 had a masterful KD ratio by now.
Yeah,
More
he's got
extreme
a
feats of
nuke
cross-testing
at this
continued
point.
in the Foundation's growing desperation to
He's
eliminate
got kill
this
streaks on top
monster.
of kill streaks.
SCP-162, which is a hypnotic ball of sharp objects, hooks, and high-tension fishing line, was introduced to 682's containment cell. The hooks latched onto the creature and
Ew.
tore huge
Oh,
portions off,
that looks
including
horrible.
its entire lower jaw and one of its limbs. However, 682 was still able to breach containment, kill 11 people, and badly wound 86 others.
They should stop messing with this thing. Every time they try to do an experiment on it, somebody ends up dead. So like they should just leave it in its pool of acid that they normally put it in just to keep it at bay, and then just leave it. Just like stop messing with it. Just secure, contain, and protect it. Do not do any more tests on this thing.
And badly wound 86 others. It regenerated its severe injuries in no time. The beast was even taken to the domain of the Gate Guardian, one of the proposals for SCP-001. The Guardian had a flaming sword hotter than the sun, capable of destroying its targets on an atomic level.
Okay, kill it!
Naturally, SCP-682 survived and regenerated.
Bro, how does it keep living?
The lost test of all was between 682 and SCP-053, who manifests as a kind, innocent little girl with the unfortunate condition of causing homicidal tendencies in all who come into contact with her for more than 10 minutes.
Yo, she's crazy. She causes people to literally go crazily insane to the point where they just want to kill people.
All who come into contact with her
but
for
I know
more
that
than 10 minutes.
This SCP is also practically invincible
with
too.
These tendencies would then attempt to harm the girl, but would immediately drop dead shortly after, leaving the girl intact.
Okay, so let's see what happens here.
Anticipated two possible outcomes here. The optimistic outcome, in which 682 enters a rage state, attacks 053, and died for good. And the realistic
I don't think that's going to happen.
In which 682 attacks 053, possibly experiencing some minor injury or nothing at all, and 053 had to be removed from the containment cell.
Or they probably just don't even attack it.
What did occur was considerably more shocking than any kind of violence.
Did they team up together?
Entered 682's containment.
Did she like ride on its back like a horse?
Uncharacteristically docile.
Oh,
Researchers and staff were baffled and watched with amazement as 053 approached the terrifying, immortal, mass-murdering monster and began to play with it. 682 even allowed 053 to draw on its face with crayons.
Yo, they teamed up together to create the SCP Wombo combo.
To play with it. 682 even allowed 053 to draw on its face with crayons. Researchers thought they must have been dreaming, seeing this surreal display play out. 053 even appeared to have affection for this unkillable misanthrope. It was a single act in defiance of everything they thought they knew. When Foundation personnel entered the containment cell to separate the two, 682 went ballistic and killed multiple guards.
Why did they should have just left them alone. They should trap them together. They can both play with each other. You know, the little girl can draw on the hard to destroy reptile, and they could just be left alone for all of eternity. Why would you try to break them up when it looked like they were having fun together?
682 went ballistic.
That's like taking an iPad
guards.
Away from a 6-year-old child.
053 also wept.
They go ballistic.
Sad at being separated from her new friend. To this day, despite further testing, the Foundation has no idea how or why this happened. Like many details surrounding SCP-682, it's shrouded in deeply frustrating mystery. And so the tale of SCP-682 continues, in spite of the Foundation's best efforts. The monster continues to breach containment and slaughter with some regularity, taking out its seemingly limitless hatred for not only human beings, but anything that dares draw breath.
Not the dog!
Nobody knows where exactly the creature is from.
Good. It's a good thing they cut away because that dog looked like it was in danger.
What its true nature is, or why its ability to adapt and regenerate far exceeds any known organism on this planet. Perhaps one day, through enough research and cross-testing, we can someday answer these questions with scientific precision. But until then, we only have one answer. Hatred never dies.
Here we go.
The girl and her 13-year-old brother are settling in for their favorite after-school activity, watching TV. The children's parents won't be home from work for several hours, and watching the after-school programming together before making a snack is a staple of their day. The boy takes his normal position on the couch as the girl plants herself right in front of the television and turns it on. This is the time when Pretty Pony Paradise comes on, and she never misses an episode.
Oh no,
dudes! He prefers something else, but he also loves to see his sister happy.
Aww.
So he always lets her watch the ponies have their adventures.
It starts out so wholesome.
When she turns to the right channel, there's something else.
Oh
Instead of the
no!
usual Pretty Pony theme song, circus music comes out of the television speakers. The girl watches as the brightly colored words "Bobble the Clown."
Bobble the Clown.
Hey. This isn't Pretty Ponies, she says to her brother. But when she looks back, he's asleep.
Oh my, wait, what?
Isn't happy, but she decides to give this new show a chance.
He fell asleep so fast.
Maybe her pony show will come on after anyway. The circus music stops, and a happy-looking clown cartwheels onto the screen.
Guys, that is not a happy-looking clown. That thing is freaky.
Do you like fun?
Comment down below how you guys feel about clowns. Personally, I have always been terrified of clowns. Anytime I see one in real life, I just turn around and I go the opposite direction. They creep me out.
The girl did like fun. Perhaps this new show wouldn't be so bad. She watches as Bobble walks down the street of an average, happy American small town. Everyone seems to love the happy clown, waving at him as he passes by. Bobble pauses in front of a house where a man is mowing the lawn. He convinces the man to stop his yard work and join him. And the two happily head down the sidewalk
so far
together.
so good.
The girl is a little confused by this show. There's not much in the way of jokes, but she decides to keep watching anyway. Bobble and his new friend stop in front of a house that is painted to resemble a circus tent. This must be where Bobble lives. He invites the man in, and they both enter the house. Inside,
I don't know
Bobble
about this,
motions the man
guys.
to sit while he prepares some refreshments. The girl watches as Bobble moves to the kitchen. There, he begins sharpening knives as he explains directly to the camera the best way to prepare meat, the way the skin must carefully be removed from the flesh, and how the bones should be saved for future soup stocks.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know this for sure, but I have a weird feeling that Bobble the Clown, first off, obviously, is the SCP, and secondly, I think that this TV show is about Bobble the Clown pretty much luring people to his house like just normal people, and then he tricks them, and then does something to them, and then, I don't know, they get knocked out or they get tied up, and then he just starts chopping up their bodies or something weird like that. I don't know for sure, but this is definitely getting super creepy.
The girl watches with fascination as Bobble teaches his special lesson. Maybe this is a good show after all. Maybe this is her new favorite show. The girl gets up, her brother still asleep, and heads to the kitchen. She pulls out a drawer to help her reach the counter.
Wait,
knife block,
no.
and pulls out the meat cleaver.
Are you kidding
Looks
me
at it
right
gleaming in the
now?
light, entranced by its sharp, shiny edge. The girl returns to the living room. and gets up
What
onto
are
the
you
couch next to her
doing,
sleeping
girl?
brother. She watches as Bobble steps away from his pot of red, boiling meat.
Okay.
Looks right into the
What
camera.
kind of meat is
The
that?
girl stands up and holds up the meat cleaver.
Okay, guys, why does she look so, like, confident holding a knife like that? Like, I wonder if the SCP is taking over her mind and making her think that, like, what is happening is okay, when in reality, I don't know. She is definitely losing her brain right now. She has, like, negative 12 brain cells because I have a weird feeling that she's in a trance and Bobble the Clown is going to make her kill her own brother.
Bobble walks towards the camera with fascination in his eyes, as if he can see through the screen.
I was gonna say, he's looking at me like he is looking into my soul.
She slowly raises the knife above her head.
Don't do
As
it.
Bobble starts whispering,
No, no, no.
"Come on."
No, no, no. No, 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 no.
licking
Bobble?
his lips in anticipation.
Bobble, please do not come out of
The
that
girl
TV.
pauses for a second, looks at her sleeping brother one more time,
Wake up.
and brings the cleaver.
Oh my gosh!
Hi,
You gotta be kidding
I'm
me.
Dr. Bob, and this is SCP-993, also known as Bobble the Clown.
Guys, on this channel, we've investigated some absolutely crazy SCPs, but I've never seen an SCP that makes a kid actually turn into a killer. Like, she just, I don't know if she, like, thought that was okay, but I don't know, man. I've never seen an SCP make a child do something that horrible. I can't believe it. This might be one of the worst SCPs we've ever checked out.
SCP-993 is the designation the SCP Foundation has given to a children's television program entitled Bobble the Clown.
I wonder if this is
At
made by
first glance,
Dr.
The Bobble
Wondertainment.
the Clown show appears to be a standard children's educational cartoon with bright colors, a mascot, and a rote formula. that
His
involves the titular
eyes
character of
creep
Bobble
me
the
out.
Clown learning a new skill or engaging in a new activity. The program appears to have no recurring supporting cast, with Bobble being the only character who returns to each episode. The settings usually change between episodes as well, with Bobble often being seen in a new or unique location. Despite appearing as a show made for children, the anomalous properties exhibited by this strange television program make themselves apparent almost immediately. First, Anyone older than the age of 10 who watches the show
Oh, wow.
will immediately fall unconscious as soon as it begins.
So you don't even need to be an adult. I thought maybe this would target, kids under the age of 18 or under the age of like 16, like younger kids, but like teenagers were still included in that. But no, this is like you have to be an actual kid. And if you're not, you're going to pass out. And then basically you're going to get murdered by a child, by a 6-year-old with a cleaver in their hand, which is absolutely insane.
And will remain in a comatose state until the program ends.
So that's why the brother fell asleep so
They will report
fast.
having felt a painful, stabbing headache just prior to falling unconscious. The show's most disturbing property, though, is what has been described by those under the age of 10 who are able to view the program. They report seeing Bobble the Clown teach lessons similar to the way many children's shows extol the virtues of good hygiene or going to bed on time. But with Bobble, the lessons are quite different.
Exactly. It's like Dora the Explorer if Dora was actually a serial killer, pretty much.
Topics that Bobble has presented lessons on and encouraged children to try have included torture, murder, and even cannibalism.
Bro!
As the subject watches,
Wait, what was that last one?
Become ingrained in their minds, and repeated exposure to the show has resulted in permanent effects that resemble symptoms of psychosis and schizophrenia.
Okay, so it does
Documented
kind of like
episodes
change
Bobble
your
the Clown
mind
have
when you
included
watch the
Bobble
show
in a
as a
City,
kid.
in which Bobble appears in a large United States city reminiscent of New York, and instructs the viewer on various ways to avoid detection when lighting fires with common resources like mosquito coils. The episode ends with Bobble setting fire to a large building
serious?
before he exits the screen.
He's like the
camera
real-life
continues
Joker.
To stay locked on the burning building for several more minutes as the sound of screams can be heard.
I kind of want to know, like, who's
In another
filming
title,
this?
Bobble's Sneaky Saturday. Bobble is again in a major city, this time one that looks similar to London, England, with the Elizabeth Tower containing Big Ben visible in the background. In this episode, Bobble is shown to be quietly following a woman as she walks into her home.
Lady,
Once she
turn
arrives,
around, lady.
Bobble attacks her with a large butcher knife before
Bro,
giving the audience
Bobble
tips on
is
how to remain
absolutely
unnoticed in crowded
nuts.
places.
These kids are
Bobble
watching
gets
it
the
like
truth,
this is the
finds
best
clown
content
in a prisoner
they've
of
ever
war
seen.
camp, where Bobble is shown torturing a captured soldier as he
Yo!
asks him nonsensical questions that the soldier cannot possibly answer.
Are you
This
kidding me?
continues until the prisoner dies, after which Bobble details methods for inflicting painful but non-lethal injuries.
Okay, guys, I feel like this actually would make for like a pretty cool, like adult TV series, like some sort of like horror series, but definitely not meant for kids. Like the fact that this is meant for kids under the age of 10 and anybody that's older than 10 falls asleep and is at risk of being, unalived by a young child. The fact that that is like what this SCP is just so messed up, but it would make for a pretty good like Netflix series if, somebody ever decided that they wanted to turn this into some sort of like really cool dark horror series. I think it could work pretty well.
Bobble Hates You is one of the most
Bobble
unnerving
Hates You?
documented episodes.
Bobble?
It consists of Bobble sitting alone
Bobble?
in a blank room,
Bobble?
silently and angrily staring at the viewer.
Bobble, what did
for a
I do?
full 30 minutes.
30 minutes
But
of
the
just
strangest of
staring?
all is from an episode title filled with expletives, in which Bobble appears to be in a Foundation secure site video archive room, the same one where recordings of Bobble the Clown are stored.
Okay, wait a second. So he broke into an SCP facility where they have all of these tapes of Bobble and like previous episodes. So wait, how would that even happen? What is Bobble? Because we think that Bobble is like a normal human, kind of. Maybe not normal, but like, is he a human or is he more like a spirit that can like teleport around? Is he some sort of like demonic creature? Like, we don't know exactly what Bobble even is.
In this episode, a rage-filled Bobble describes methods for breaching several SCP's containment.
Oh.
He then gives personal details about the researchers assigned to these SCPs,
What?
including their daily routines, before offering several potential ways to murder them.
Okay, so Bobble is like
Interesting
freaking
detail about
nuts.
this episode.
He's actually
At
nuts.
one point, an animated depiction of a particular SCP Foundation researcher is seen to walk past Bobble.
Okay.
A clock on the wall shows the time, and this same researcher later confirmed that they did, in fact, walked through the video archive at this exact time.
Wait, so Bobble was there?
Recollection of seeing an animated clown filming a television program in the room when they did so.
Oh my god.
Episodes of Bobble the Clown continue to be broadcast from an unknown source, but future episodes are to be intercepted using Protocol Upsilon Beta 3 to prevent them from being seen by the public. All broadcasts are recorded for the Foundation's archives, and in order to perform research on the anomaly, subjects under the age of 10 must be used to view them. Once the viewers have described what takes place in the episode, they are then to immediately be administered Class A amnestics.
Gotcha. That's actually kind of crazy. So they have children pretty much like working for the SCP Foundation, and they have them watch through these Bobble the Clown episodes, and as soon as they watch through and explain what happens, they get like Men in Black memory wiped so that they don't have any recollection, and their brains, I guess, won't become altered by Bobble the Clown. That is, I don't know, it's kind of messed up that the SCP Foundation is using kids, but at the same time, they need to figure out like what Bobble the Clown is in order to secure, contain, and protect. That's just what they gotta do.
Episodes pose to those who view them, since they are able to be reliably blocked from public broadcast. SCP-993 has been classified as safe.
Okay,
and for now,
that's good.
Bobble the Clown appears to be contained as well as it can be.
The man opens his mouth to bite a hot dog and
sounds like me.
Freezes. His eyes widen, and the hot dog drops from his hand, falling to the ground. Ahead, a stampede of people is running toward him, screaming, crying out for help.
Why?
Behind them, a man walks at an ordinary, casual pace, but something is off. His eyes have a glazed, unfocused look to them. And he keeps shoveling random items into his open mouth.
That's kind of weird.
Down. He eats a clipboard and pen, a discarded shoe, and as the first man watches in horror, the very hungry man grabs the ankle of a fallen member of the crowd and pulls him into his mouth, devouring him. The first man turns to run for his life, only to be knocked to the ground by the rest of the crowd, trying to escape. He struggles to climb back to his feet, and a hand reaches out to take his.
Oh, is that
When he makes it
Mr.
to his
Hungry?
feet, he looks up and sees the hungry man.
Oh
pulling
my
him in,
goodness.
Mouth stretching.
He looks like a Titan from Attack on Titan, but normal size.
Cloudless blue. The air is warm from the unbroken sunlight, but cooled to the perfect temperature by a gentle breeze.
So it's a nice
There's a sense
day.
of electricity, excitement, and competition in the air.
Okay.
Throngs of people have gathered together in a makeshift arena, piled into plastic chairs and swarming around concession
I'm gonna guess it's some sort of
stands,
eating
all training their eyes
competition.
on the arena's center. What are they here for? Some sort of Olympic Games? A baseball tournament? A horse race? No, it's something greater, something meatier. It is the annual Midsummer Hot Dog Eating Contest, and locals and tourists alike are coming together to see just who can cram the
Where's
most
Joey
pork or beef
Chestnut?
hot dogs and buns
I'm pretty
down
sure he
their
wins
gullet
like every
in front
year.
of a roaring crowd. The announcer makes his way to the front of the arena, standing with his arms wide in front of the long table behind him. As he calls out the names of this year's contestants, they file in, each taking his place behind the table. There is the previous year's champion, a burly man with a bushy beard and twinkling eyes.
I'm kind of curious if we'll see Mr. Hungry, aka SCP-913, as one of the contestants here today.
And there is this year's surprise competitor, a skinny 19-year-old college student with a hungry grin. Then there are the lesser-known contestants, a local father who signed up after making a joke with his daughter, an uncle who scrawled his name on the sign-up sheet after a few too many drinks, a recently retired man checking off another item on his golden years bucket list. All have come to the event today with full hearts and empty stomachs, ready to see who the
who's
year's
gonna
victor
win?
will be. The announcer riles up the crowd, encouraging them to cheer as loudly as possible to spur on their chosen competitor. All the while, staff are carrying out trays piled high with hot dogs. More hot dogs than most people see in a year.
I have a
except for
bad
people who just
feeling
really,
about this.
Really love hot dogs. Each contestant receives a tray of hot dogs, a bucket of water, and an additional empty bucket, just in case.
Kind of side note, I always wondered, like, if you sign up for a food eating competition, do you have to pay for the food? Because I feel like that would be a pretty good way to get a lot of free food if you wanted to. Just saying.
Well, you get the idea. With the supplies and competitors all in place, it is time to begin the countdown. The announcer holds up his favorite air horn and calls out,
3, 2, 1, eat!
At the sound of the air horn's blast, the men leap into action, seizing hot dogs from plates and each engaging in their unique competitive eating technique. The previous year's champion employs the method of famous hot dog eating champion Joey Chestnut.
That's who I was
dunking his
talking
entire
about.
Hot dog sloppily
Yeah,
into
he
his
makes it
water
like really
and
mushy.
swallowing it as quickly as
Kinda
possible.
gross.
The new challenger, on the other hand, employs the Solomon method, named for King Solomon. Much like the fabled king suggested doing with a stolen infant, eaters using the Solomon method break the focus of their feasting in half before polishing it off. One of the more casual competitors attempts a divide and conquer technique.
Interesting.
eating first the dog
Oh,
itself,
ew, I didn't
and
like
then
that.
the
That was
bone.
weird.
Others employ no specific technique at all, attempting to devour the stack of hot dogs before them, using
Yeah.
the same classic eating style they might employ at a family barbecue.
He's just chomping
This
down.
is a grave mistake. One by one, the less prepared competitors drop out,
He looks
spitting
so-
into their buckets,
so
wiping meat
so
sweats from their
tired.
foreheads, waddling out of the arena while groaning and holding their
They're
aching
all going to be in
stomachs.
food comas.
Soon, only the two frontrunners remain. But what's this? A challenger approaches. An unassuming black man, clad in a shirt and dress pants, rushes into the
It's
arena,
Mr.
his face
Hungry.
a mask of single-minded determination, and begins seizing the discarded hot dogs off the table, gobbling them up as fast as he can. The announcer and the rest of the audience watch in stunned disbelief. This is unprecedented, and as exciting as it is, definitely against the rules. This man is not a registered competitor, and he certainly can't join the contest in the champion stretch. Unsure of what else to do, the announcer beckons to the staff on the sidelines, ushering them back toward the table to clear
Oh
the
no,
food
they're
and
gonna try to
escort
get rid
this
of him.
surprise drop-in out of the arena. The audience watches with rapt attention as the staff members attempt to remove the stranger from
Oh
his place at the
no,
table.
dudes. This
He
is how
shakes his head
chaos
violently,
happens.
refusing
Look at his teeth, too. His teeth look almost like they're carnivore teeth. Like they're a little sharper than usual.
to go and snatches the hot dogs away from them, even as they try to clear the trays away. All the while, the remaining competitors standing are attempting to stay the course and finish strong in spite of the interruption. The new, younger man collapses, slumping down onto the table in a hot dog-induced stupor. He has tapped out. The victor is the previous year's champion, with a staggering ultimate tally of 38 hot dogs.
38,
As
dude.
4 staff members work together
I
to
don't even
wrestle
think
the
I could eat
stranger out of
10.
the arena, the champion steps forward to receive his trophy. The crowd roars as he holds up his arms, grinning ear to ear and basking in yet another win. The announcer can still see the staff struggling with the stranger out of the corner of his eye. But this crowd wants to see their champion crowned, and the show must go on.
I wonder if something like this has ever happened before, where during like a professional eating competition, has a random stranger come up and like just tried to join the competition out of nowhere, and they're like just chowing down on hot dogs, and then they have to get security to come escort them out because clearly they're getting a bunch of free food, which is illegal. You must pay for the food, I think anyway.
So he grabs the Hot Dog King sash, the crown made from gold, well, gold-plated, hot dogs, and even the massive gold trophy. He crowns the winner, placing the sash over his shoulders. Then, as the music swells triumphantly, courtesy of the local high school marching band, the announcer holds up the trophy,
Wow.
sunlight glinting off its shiny
It's
surface.
gorgeous.
It represents so many things: achievement, celebration, the ability to eat just so much meat and not get sick. And now it is time for it to be awarded to the man who earned it.
He did
The
it.
announcer stretches his arms, handing over the
What a
trophy to the
beast.
contest winner, when all of a sudden,
Oh.
another hand grabs
Oh,
hold
is he
of its
going to
handle,
eat the
ripping it from
trophy?
the announcer's grasp. The stranger has returned, somehow freeing himself from the multiple security guards.
Yeah,
who escorted
because he
him
ate
away.
them
He has
alive.
taken the trophy for himself.
Somebody should go check on
But
them.
he isn't just attempting to crown himself the hot dog king. No, this is not a simple coup de hot dog. He lifts the trophy up over his head, opening his mouth as wide as it will go, and tears the metal in half with a horrible screeching sound,
So-
shoving the pieces into
As soon as you see that, especially when you see his like mangled teeth, which probably happened because he's done this a bunch, where he's probably been eating everything in sight, including metal, which will destroy your teeth. So as soon as you see something like this, like you should probably, you know, call the cops, maybe call the military, call the president, maybe call in NASA. I don't even know what you do because this guy's clearly not human. He's an alien.
his mouth, chewing and swallowing. By the time the announcer and the champion recover from their shock enough to move again, the trophy is completely gone, vanished into the stranger's belly.
That's gross.
After a day of seemingly impossible feats of feasting, the sight of this strange man consuming a truly impossible meal of metal is just too much for the already anxious crowd to take. The arena erupts into absolute chaos as people spill out of their seats en masse, fleeing the area. The champion, however, does not turn and run. he feels robbed of his victory.
Oh my gosh,
Though
he's
it
gonna
may
try
have
to fight.
occurred in an utterly bizarre fashion.
No,
he won't
dude.
stand for this kind of disrespect.
Why in a million years would you go up to somebody as crazy as the dude that just ate your trophy in like 3 bites? He's clearly psychotic, right? Like, you should probably steer clear of people like that. Just, you know, I don't want to tell you what to do and how to live your life, but you should definitely not approach people that eat metal trophies. That is something that I will live my life by from this day forward.
He has trained all year for this moment, only to watch his trophy be eaten right in front of him.
There's always more
He
trophies.
marches right up to the stranger and pokes him in the chest, demanding to know who he thinks he is. What gives him the right to crash the hot dog eating contest, interrupt the proceedings, and upstage his victory by chowing down on the trophy? The man doesn't answer him, so the champion continues to berate him,
stop.
wagging his
Get your
in
finger
his
away
face.
from his mouth.
The stranger's eyes
No,
follow the
dude,
finger,
what are you
and slowly
thinking?
he opens his mouth. There is a sudden pop, and the
No, it's
champion
just tomatoes.
screams,
It's
holding
just
his hand
ketchup,
to his
right?
chest, using his shirt
Oh,
to stem the bleeding.
no.
He turns to run with the rest of the crowd, but it's too late. The stranger's hand clamps down on his shoulder, holding him in place with a surprising strength. The only thing he sees before his life is snuffed out is the stranger's wide-open mouth before everything goes dark.
That's
with another
really
sickening
scary.
chomp.
It's like a
All
human
the while,
snake.
The crowd's terror rises to a fever pitch at the horrible sight. They trample each other as they scramble to vacate the area, shoving strangers and loved ones alike out of the way.
Dude.
In a bid to
This is a
escape
head
this
scratcher.
mysterious equal opportunity omnivore.
I don't even know
with
what
an
you do.
appetite for far more than just hot dogs. Some manage to escape, running far enough from the arena that they can stop to catch their breaths and glance back at the ones who were not so lucky. Those who tripped and fell in the madness, who had the wind knocked out of them by an elbow to the gut from one of their neighbors, those with weak ankles, or who hadn't tied their shoes carefully enough. All of these poor, unfortunate souls are next on the menu for the stranger, who devours them one by one.
This is
rarely
gross.
even
I don't
stopping to
like
chew.
this.
As one surviving woman watching from a distance pulls out her phone to call 911,
Well, yeah.
she can't escape noticing the parallels to the contest itself. The way the stranger eats with a singular focus on consuming as much as possible.
That is a
There's no
human
pause
leg.
to enjoy the meal, but there is no sadism or malice in the act either. Just the sheer, undeniable drive to keep eating. The woman's call to the police is one of the strangest moments of her life and utterly baffles the local police department. Ma'am, please calm down. One officer repeats it.
I am a little bit worried too, because earlier they mentioned that the SCP like had some weird superhuman strength. So even if they do like bring the police there, are they going to be able to stop him? That's something that I don't think so, especially because usually SCPs, like, they're supernatural in the way that they behave. So if I had to guess, he's probably super strong. He probably is like practically invincible, and there's nothing that's going to stop him from eating everything and everyone in sight.
Again and again. What do you mean there's a man eating people? I mean exactly what I said, she shouts. A man showed up at the hot dog contest and started eating people. Please, you have to do something.
It sounds like a prank
I
call.
think this is above our pay grade, miss. Another officer chimes in. You think we should call, the first officer trails off. Who?
The
woman
SCP
demands.
Foundation.
But the line goes dead before she can ask another question. The police are clearly no help, and she isn't about to stick around and see just how big this stranger's appetite is. She tried to save the others, but now she needs to save herself. She
Yes,
runs all the way
get out of
home
there.
without another glance back. Meanwhile, the local police did make that mysterious call, and an SCP Foundation mobile task force is currently en route to the scene.
Oh, nice.
By the
Okay,
time
good.
They arrive, the park is a ghost town, with nothing but the blood-stained grass and abandoned arena to suggest that something horrible ever
Is the
happened here at
SCP
all.
gone?
But these aren't some bumbling local police officers who have no idea what to do with a man-eating anomaly. This team has seen enough bizarre sights to fill a lifetime, and another lifetime after that. They spy a trail of sticky red footprints leading away from the arena. At first, they assume that the substance is blood, but a closer examination reveals
Ketchup.
that it is, in fact, ketchup. They
Oh.
track the savory footprints
They
away from the
tasted
scene
it?
of the day's unsavory events, following them to a nearby warehouse. Judging from the scattered wooden beams, rustling metal, and boarded-up windows, this place has been abandoned for some time.
Interesting.
Perfect place for an anomaly to hide away.
That is the
They
home
weren't
of
certain.
Mr. Hungry.
The sound of someone inside biting through sheets of metal is plenty of indication that this is the right place. With no time to waste, they break down the door of the warehouse, weapons drawn and ready. They follow the sound of the chewing, splitting up to apprehend the subject from all available directions. The shriek of tearing metal echoes
Where
through
is
the building,
he?
bouncing off the walls and creating a cacophony that is difficult to track. They do their best to follow the sound, but quickly veer off in separate directions in an attempt to cover as much ground as possible. One operative confronts the stranger just as he is reaching for another piece of metal. He watches as the man takes a massive bite out of the steel, a bite that should have shattered his teeth and broken his jaw.
Oh, he just ripped apart steel, bro. I thought only jet fuel could melt steel beams, but apparently this guy's teeth, it's basically jet fuel. That is crazy.
Instead, a cartoonish bite mark is taken out of the metal. He approaches the stranger, who, upon locking eyes with him, begins to shake his head, still chewing. The MTF operative ignores this visual cue, approaching the man and attempting to physically restrain him. This, like the confrontation with the champion before, is cut off with a fateful chomp, and the operative
why
screams,
would you
ringing out
touch
through
him?
the warehouse.
I thought this SCP whole squadron, like, they've seen anomalies before, and you would think that they probably know, don't get too close to an SCP, because that could happen.
Alerting his teammates to his unfortunate fate. The screams suddenly go silent, and another MTF operative stops cold, listening as the sound of chewing draws nearer and nearer. He spins around to face the presence behind him and spots the stranger standing there. The otherwise ordinary man is polishing off the tip of a steel beam, grimacing as he swallows it.
That's
The
gross,
operative
dude.
lifts his weapon, pointing it at the subject. The operative tells him to stand down and come quietly. The hungry man pleads, wide-eyed, for the operative to turn and run while he still can. He takes small, reluctant steps toward the operative.
Okay, so it seems like the SCP himself is maybe just a normal guy, and he has the insatiable need to keep eating. Like, he can't stop himself.
Muttering that he can't stop.
Yeah.
The operative brandishes his weapon again, barking another order for the man to stop.
Is he gonna eat the bullets?
Before he can make another move, the stranger snatches the weapon out of his hand, opens his mouth.
Are you kidding me? How, as an SCP, like SEAL Team 6, how, as a SCP soldier, are you gonna let an SCP get close enough to grab your gun? Like, these guys clearly aren't trained. My 95-year-old grandmother knows you just pull the trigger when some crazy dude is walking at you.
And swallows it. He winces as he does,
Ew.
but does not stop. until the weapon
It's
is
like a
completely
magic trick.
devoured. All at once, he lets out a loud belch. His knees buckle.
I wonder
and he
what his
slumps to
poops
the
are
ground.
like.
He rubs his stomach, wipes his brow, and sighs heavily. I'm so sorry about that. I was just so hungry I couldn't help it.
Oh.
The man shakes his head sadly. I hope you can get a new weapon. And I'm sorry about your friend, too.
Oh, wow.
You said you couldn't help it. Why'd you stop? The stranger shrugs, sighs again, and simply says, well, because I was full. After a bit of convincing,
So
and
he
a test
can
confirming
be
the subject's
full.
strength and bite force has returned to ordinary human levels, the
What?
remaining mobile task force agreed to bring him into Foundation custody unharmed, though restrained. They pile into one of the SCP Foundation's trademark unmarked vans and set off toward the nearest Foundation site. About 1 hour into the trip, the subject begins to lament his growling stomach, asking if they can possibly stop somewhere for a bite to eat. Ordinarily, this is against protocol, but after what happened to their teammate, the task force members aren't taking any chances.
You should probably give him all the food that he needs.
Drive-thru and permit the subject to order whatever he wants. They'll declare it as a business expense later. 5 burgers, 5 fries, 5 tacos, 5 pies, 5 cokes, 10 tater tots, 10 tenders, 5 shakes, 5 pancakes, 5 jalapeno poppers, and 5 baked potatoes later. The task force
That's like what my brain wants to order every time that I'm hungry, but obviously no human could eat that much food.
successfully reached the Foundation site with their newest subject, SCP-913. SCP-913 appears to be an average African-American man around middle age. Though his appearance is completely ordinary, his metabolism is unnaturally fast. He requires the recommended daily caloric intake for an average human being every 2 hours and has an unusually high internal temperature, though the specific number has been redacted from his official file.
Interesting.
If he does not meet his calorie requirement for a given 2-hour period, he will enter a trance state in which he is unable to control himself.
Yeah, okay.
In this state, he will break down and ingest any solid matter in his line of sight.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of Shy Guy. How Shy Guy is kind of just like a normal dude, at least that has like superhuman strength and looks kind of weird, and is just really shy. And if you look at Shy Guy, he literally can't help it, and he will come and he'll kill you. And it kind of seems like this guy's in like the same boat where he doesn't want to do it, but he kind of has to do it in order for him to satiate like the hunger that he has. He has to eat stuff until he's full again.
This includes matter that would ordinarily be indigestible, including wood, plastic, and metal.
That's
In this state,
disgusting.
his appetite does not distinguish between living and non-living subjects. When he is in this hunger-driven state, he is aware of all his actions, but cannot stop himself, even when he eats dense materials that cause him extreme discomfort. If this state hits while the subject is sleeping, he will be forced awake. In addition to his anomalous appetite, SCP-913 can rend objects at an estimated force of 3,000 newtons and can bite objects with an estimated force of 5,000 newtons when eating them. Whenever he is not in his trance state, he cannot replicate this strength. An examination of SCP-913's liver tissue showed that it is capable of producing new enzymes in response to foreign material, allowing his body to digest matter that should be highly dangerous to consume.
So he has metal poops.
Metabolize the substrate at an efficiency of approximately 98%, detoxifying any drugs or toxins consumed by the subject during the hunger state or otherwise. This includes, but is not limited to, amnestics and anesthetics.
Interesting. So he can't be poisoned, he can't be drugged, his body will just, just get out all of the toxins.
913 was first discovered. He was wearing a shirt and dress pants, both with the brand name Doctor's Orders sewn onto their tags. SCP-913 has no tattoos aside from one on his right calf, which reads Mr. Hungry. From Little Misters by Dr. Wondertainment.
Okay, so this guy was clearly experimented on, and he was created by whoever Dr. Wondertainment is.
Just in case you aren't aware, the Little Misters are a line of humanoid anomalies created by the mysterious Dr. Wondertainment Corporation, including the fish-headed Mr. Fish, candy-coated Ms. Sweetie, and Mr. Life and Mr. Death.
I've never heard of these.
Bit as existentially upsetting as he sounds. The purpose of these creations is currently unknown, though, like many Dr. Wondertainment products, their existence invites endless speculation. SCP-913 must be contained in a customized humanoid containment cell lined with 1 meter thick carbon steel. 913 is to be provided standard furnishings for his containment cell, coinciding with the usual necessities for a comfortable humanoid dwelling. He may be given pre-recorded entertainment materials, such as concerts, films, and television shows upon request.
You know, even though he's in prison, he has some luxuries like music, television, cell phones, and probably unlimited food. So, kind of sounds pretty nice.
The cell may be accessed via a reinforced carbon steel door. Once every 2 hours, SCP-913 is provided with 1 nutritional supplement as specified in Document 913-2. I attempted to locate a copy of 913-2 for further details on said nutritional supplement, but access to it appears to be limited to researchers assigned to SCP-913.
Really? Interesting. So we don't know what he eats.
Nutrition is provided to SCP-913 via a central venous catheter that must be changed once every 3 months. These measures allow SCP-913 to receive the calories that he needs to avoid entering a hunger state, ensuring the safety of everyone on site, as well as his own comfort. Like the rest of the Little Misters, SCP-913 presents a puzzle that may never be solved. I could spend my limited time on this Earth wondering why Dr. Wondertainment would create a being that seems to serve no purpose other than eating as much as possible.
Yeah, that's so random.
Lest he unwillingly destroy the environment around him.
He's like an X-Men with a really stupid superpower.
But I believe that would be a waste of time. Why does Dr. Wondertainment do anything that they do? Why create a woman who can turn men into candy soldiers? Why create an ordinary man with a fish head, a tiny top hat, and a Boston accent?
That was so funny.
The personal motivations of Dr. Wondertainment, whether they are an individual or a massive conglomerate, are as inscrutable to me as the meaning of life itself, or the reasons why a person would want to eat more than 2 hot dogs in one sitting.
Let's check this out.
Many people are dead.
Oh my God.
The biker bar is stuffed with bullet-riddled corpses.
Oh my God.
Of Hell's Angels. In the city aquarium, several workers and a night guard float dead.
Oh my God!
Being picked at by triggerfish and sharks.
This is a horrible way to start an SCP video.
Several men stand frozen, their faces locked in forever grimaces of anguish. Just outside town, the bodies of 2 police officers lay scorched beyond recognition, and even further out, the body of an old farmer hangs from the twisted wire of a fence.
I thought going into this was going to be a very friendly, maybe non-Keter class SCP, but it seems like this might be one of the deadliest SCPs I've ever seen.
What could possibly be behind this town-wide carnage? How could one being be the cause of so much death?
Is it really just like a little stuffed animal?
We need only rewind a few hours.
That's it?
6 p.m. Nobody has any idea of the horrors the night has in store for them. But if they knew about one another, they might have some idea of the clues, the little signs that point to something being just a bit off.
I'm so confused.
Over in the biker bar, the big, tough, leather-clad men, their hair tied back with bandanas and their beards twisted into Viking locks, laugh and shoot pool together. They've completed some good scores lately. Nobody messes with them. They own these streets. It's their strength, their intimidation, and most important of all, the cache of guns in the back of the bar.
Okay, so I'm very curious to see where the Build-A-Bear comes into play here, because I've seen the Build-A-Bear before, but I've never actually learned about where it came from. And I thought it was like this little stuffed animal bear, kind of like the Build-A-Bear that you make. When I was younger, you would just go in, you would pick out your bear or your stuffed animal, and then you would put like a little heart inside. Sometimes you could put in like a little voice box and make it say stuff. It's not really that deadly. At least it doesn't seem like it would be. So I'm curious, like, where does that come into play here?
One biker among them hears something strange, though. Something rustling in the back room.
It's a bear.
Someone infiltrated the armory. He pulls out his side piece, a revolver with a pearlescent handle, and barges into the armory. But the room is empty.
Whoa.
Not just of people, but of weapons.
Somebody stole everything.
All the gun racks are laid bare. His heart drops into his stomach. Seconds later, he's running back into the bar, demanding that the music be shut off. He sounds the alarm, and bikers start scrambling, as though the missing guns might be hiding under the tables. Little do they know that the truth is far, far stranger.
Good, that was it. That was the Build-A-Bear. If we go back like 5 seconds.
Little do they know.
That is it.
The truth is.
That thing is so creepy, dude. It looks like a Terminator, little tiny, like 1 foot bear, and it has the guns. It has ammo strapped to its chest, and it looks like it's ready to kill everybody. That is amazing.
Far stranger. Over at the city aquarium, they're wrapping up for the day, seeing off their remaining few customers. Janitors are starting their nightly rounds as night guards suit up and prep for patrol. One more marine biologist who works full-time studying the aquarium's many creatures isn't quite ready to go home for the night. She's made herself a new pot of coffee and is on her way to the octopus tank, containing several of the hyper-intelligent, mysterious mollusks. But when she arrives, she sees a startling sight. All the octopi are gone. Shocked and horrified, she calls over some janitors and a night guard. There are a few other possibilities. Either these slimy escape artists had figured out a way to get out and slither away, or someone had stolen them.
This is so weird. So I'm kind of like, I don't understand how it all connects. Like, it makes sense that the Build-A-Bear, which is basically just like a little tiny midget Terminator, would steal all of the guns, right? So that it had more weapons and more ammunition to cause chaos. But why would it need to steal an octopus? It doesn't make any sense to me.
She's in a full panic now. These octopi are vital to her research. But when the others arrive, there's no trace of the creatures. There is, however, a strange pair of tiny, wet footsteps heading towards the tank. Before any of them can react to that, they hear a wet slapping sound behind them. Over at a construction site, work is just ramping up. Plans are being drawn up for the night's work, and construction equipment is being vanned in. The foreman of the construction site is pleased with how everything is progressing, and if everyone does their job right, they'll have all their work completed on schedule. He lives in this state of blissful optimism until one of his workers runs over to him in a panic. Someone has stolen 4 bags of cement. The exact 4 bags of cement they need for setting the foundation. As the foreman calls the company manager to profusely apologize for the delays, the construction workers scramble around the site, looking anywhere they can for the 4 bags. It's not uncommon for equipment to get stolen from construction sites, but bags of cement? That's strange. Though not nearly as strange as the creature approaching the foreman. Step by careful step, its hard gray skin scratching against itself.
It's so tiny but deadly. And also, guys, I'm noticing a pattern here. It seems like Build-A-Bear is a kleptomaniac, which means that it likes to steal random objects and things, and apparently creatures too. It's so far has stolen a bunch of weapons, it's stolen a bunch of octopi, and 4 bags of cement. Now, I'm guessing these are all separate occurrences, but I am kind of curious. What if Build-A-Bear is building his own aquarium, and then he's using the weapons to guard the aquarium? It could, you never know. You never know. That could be the case.
A pair of police officers in a squad car receive a call over their radio. There are reports of a break-in at a nuclear graveyard across town. A large stone dome covering up a mess of radioactive material from when the city used to have a nuclear power plant. Someone tripped the alarm on the perimeter gate, and someone needs to get there and apprehend the intruder before they do something they seriously regret. The officers arrive not so long after and see a hole cut into the fence. but the hole is weirdly low and small. Was the person who broke in a small child?
I can't wait to see the Builder Bear.
In a hurry. The two officers pull out their flashlights and head up to the gate, opening it and walking through. Just as they're starting to wonder whether they should have brought some kind of radiation guard, they feel a strange, warm sensation on their skin, like a tanning bed, like blistering sunlight.
That's not good.
In the middle of the night. They turn and try to see what's walking towards them. The air seems to distort and wobble, even in the dark. Then there's a flash of bright, eye-searing light, and both the officers scream.
It's Builder Bear!
On a farm nestled in the sticks outside the town, an old farmer is carrying out his twilight rounds. He's hammering in fence posts, making sure the sheep, cows, and chickens are fenced off. He's about to turn in for the night when he sees a goat, his goat, wandering out in the fields beyond his own. He doesn't know how this thing escaped, but in any case, he needs to get it back. As he walks to the edge of the farm, he finds out why. Someone has ripped away all the barbed wire from a section of the outer fence. The wire is completely gone.
That has to be so confusing. Just like you're a farmer out in the middle of the forest at night and you're just like, oh, cool, I'm just gonna like turn it in for the night. And then out of nowhere, all of your barbed wire is missing. Like, who would do that? Who steals barbed wire? It would literally scratch you to death if you tried to steal that.
It doesn't make sense. His mind fills with questions, and one awful, monstrous answer is standing right behind him.
Oh, that's so creepy.
Then, all across town, the chaos begins. Back in the biker bar, there's a quiet tapping amidst the chaos of heavy leather boots tromping back and forth. The tap, tap, tap of metal against wooden floorboards. The bikers turn in unison to the back of the bar, where something small and squat is limping out of the shadows. When it steps into the light, the bikers can hardly believe what they're seeing.
I know that it's supposed to be like really creepy and menacing, but it's so funny to me that this like deadly SCP is literally like basically a little tiny stuffed teddy bear. That's so funny. And I'm also curious too, since we've been hearing all of these stories about how Builder Bear has, you know, stolen the octopi, stolen the cement. I wonder if there's multiple Builder Bears. Like, I've only ever known there to be one, but I wonder if this is an SCP that either can clone itself or there's just like a mass amount of Builder Bears that kind of just roam around and they steal stuff and they kind of like use the stuff that they steal almost to like upgrade their bodies. Like, this guy obviously stole weapons and ammo and guns, so he turned into the Terminator. But I wonder if the other Builder Bear, since it went into the uranium, like if it used that as a power up, and maybe it can use the octopi to like give itself giant tentacle upgrades and you know, stuff like that.
It's a teddy bear, a living, walking teddy bear, made out of guns. Its body is an amalgam of stocks and ammo belts. It walks on a pair of spindly rifle barrels for legs. Its eyes are scopes and laser sights, and perhaps most striking are its arms. The left arm is an Uzi submachine gun, and the right is an AA-12 fully automatic drum barrel shotgun.
That is so
the
cool.
Bikers recognize every gun as their own. But before their many minds can compute another thought, the gun bear raises its shotgun and Uzi arms and begins blasting.
No way!
Bullet after bullet tears
Wow!
through the bikers, dropping them one by
That's
one.
insane!
Some scramble for the door, but it doesn't save them.
Nope.
In a matter of moments, as gunshots ring throughout the bar, every single biker is dead.
By a tiny
Over
teddy
at the
bear.
aquarium, things aren't going much better. The marine biologist and her coworkers turn to see a strange figure standing
Oh,
atop
I
the
think
tank.
I was right.
It's in the shape of a teddy bear. But the biologist can clearly see that it's about 5 octopi fused together in some nightmarish and unnatural conglomeration.
Okay, I did not know this about Builder Bear. I only have seen Builder Bear, I mean, weirdly enough, from a Minecraft mod, and it usually either looked like a teddy bear or it looked like the Terminator version that we just saw a second ago, where it had a bunch of weapons and guns and grenades strapped to it. I didn't realize that Builder Bear was kind of like Upgrade from Ben 10, where it can pretty much like take over other creatures and machinery and basically turn its body into whatever it is that it steals. Like, that is so cool.
The tentacles stretch out and grab the aquarium staff, lifting them
Cool,
with
but
impossible
deadly.
strength and force them down into the tank. They struggle and thrash against the slimy tentacles holding them in place underwater, but it's no use.
I wonder why Builder
The
Bear is so
octopi bear
deadly.
is in total control.
Like, why does it want to kill everybody?
Bubbles rise as the unfortunate aquarium staff struggle, but those bubbles eventually stop.
R.I.P.
Everyone in the tank floats, dead. The work of the octopi bear isn't over yet, though. It drags the waterlogged corpses of the marine biologist, the cleaners, and the night guard across the aquarium floor, leaving a wet trail. Eventually, it throws the bodies into the main aquarium tank and watches with a slimy, blank expression as the fish begin to feed.
Oh, why?
Back at the
That's
construction
so
site,
weird.
the workers are frozen, but not in fear. The entity that stepped out of the shadows of the construction site is a teddy bear made of solid cement.
It looks so
constructed out of the 4 stolen bags. The second the foreman saw it, he called in the other workers to see, dooming them to share his fate. As some of them reach into their jackets to grab phones, eager to take photos, just to see if this truly is happening, the cement teddy bear screams.
What?
It's an awful sound, the screech of metal on metal, like a broken cement mixer spinning off kilter.
Oh my God.
Threatening to explode.
What?
But it doesn't explode. It just keeps screeching. And as it screeches, the workers and the foreman are frozen in place. As much as they try with all their might, it's like their bodies are turning into concrete. No, it isn't like that at all. That's exactly what's happening. Their skin is taking on a slate gray hue, becoming rigid and brittle.
Are you serious?
Little by little, their bodies freeze and harden. Their eyes go after all the rest as they watch themselves becoming living statues, trapped forever.
I'm getting goosebumps. That is the scariest one yet.
The cement teddy bear walks among them, and it begins to dance. Over at the nuclear graveyard, another 2
This might be my new favorite SCP.
corpses are about to be interred. That flash of light is actually a localized blast of radiation that would make Chernobyl look positively quaint, frying the officers on a cellular level in less time than it would take for a camera to take a photograph. They lay on the ground, skin burnt, vomiting profusely. They twitch and squirm, not quite dead, but trapped in a void of unimaginable pain. Every thought burned out of their head. Their killer walks towards them on tiny, flat feet. As you may have predicted, it's a teddy bear, a living, walking teddy bear cobbled together out of radioactive material. What it's done to the 2 police officers is horrifying, but if it gets into the city proper, the death toll will quickly climb into the thousands, if not the hundreds of thousands. But the violence and terror of the night is not quite over yet.
Okay, guys, so obviously this Builder Bear, even though it's cute, it's cuddly, this might be one of the deadliest SCPs that I've ever watched a video on, and I'm kind of curious, like, what would you combine Builder Bear with if you had the opportunity? I mean, it seems like the deadliest one that we saw so far was Builder Bear combined with nuclear radioactive material, because then it's basically just like a walking nuclear bomb. But I am kind of curious, what would you try to combine the Builder Bear with to make it the most powerful thing you've ever seen? Comment down below.
We return to the farm, where a farmer can only just make out a tiny figure stomping across the grass towards him. He hears it before he sees it and whips around, the strange jangling of metal against metal. He immediately regrets not bringing his gun, but it's too late for regrets now. He can see it now, the freakish little teddy bear made out of twisted barbed wire. Handles of the wire strip away from the teddy bear's body and launch towards him like angry vipers.
That's so scary.
They wrap around his body and limbs, around his neck, and tie him to a fence post.
Ouch.
He tries to struggle, but every movement hurts as more barbed wire cocoons him. Out on the field, the goat looks on with complete indifference. What you just witnessed is a series of horrifying impossibilities.
Yes!
Unless, of course, you're dealing with SCP-1048.
It looks so
a
cute.
singularly strange anomaly known as the Builder Bear. But please don't let the apparent whimsy of that name fool you. What we're dealing with here is an extremely dangerous Keter-class anomaly.
Oh yeah.
But before we get there, we need to explore some background information on the entity before it revealed its darker side. SCP-1048 is a relatively small and unassuming teddy bear, standing at only 33 centimeters tall. Researchers have studied the materials and composition behind the Builder Bear and found that nothing about it is inherently anomalous. But despite this, the bear appears to be fully sapient and capable of moving of its own accord. While it is incapable of speech, it can communicate through some small gestures, all of which are extremely sweet and affectionate.
That's so weird. Like, it looks like it's friendly and it looks like it doesn't want to kill anything or anybody, but then what we just saw completely is the opposite of that. Like, this thing is extremely deadly and it could explode entire cities if it wanted to.
Yes, you heard that correctly. One of the most surprising things about SCP-1048, if you're only familiar with it by reputation, is the fact that most people who directly encounter it find it endearing and even adorable.
Yeah, it's
It shows
cute.
affection to human subjects by hugging their lower leg, dancing, jumping in place,
So-
and even drawing childlike crayon pictures for Foundation janitorial
Yeah,
staff.
what turns it
Before
into
the
this like
darker
evil
incidents
creature?
began, almost everyone reported positive feelings towards SCP-1048, even D-Class personnel who had tested positive for sociopathic tendencies. Despite its seemingly charming exterior, the inner workings of the Builder-Bear's mind still remain a mystery. Attempts to communicate with the anomaly directly have failed, because although it is capable of making simple gestures indicating yes and no answers, it will often simply ignore certain questions. Specifically, it will completely stonewall any questions about its origins, which is partly
Interesting.
why the Foundation knows so little except for what it can directly observe. Whether the Builder-Bear declines to answer because it doesn't know, or because it doesn't want to share, is an open question.
I'm also, kind of curious, how is it able to communicate? It said that, it can give some small gestures, like it can raise its hand, so maybe they just ask it yes or no questions. But I mean, even then, I don't think that it would want to explain its origin, because obviously the SCP Foundation, they want to figure out where it came from and possibly, how to contain it and maybe even destroy it if need be, because this thing clearly started out as being like cute and cuddly and friendly, but then it turned into something that they couldn't even control.
And while the Builder-Bear is capable of drawing pictures, these are purely for the aesthetic value of the pictures themselves, not a means of communication. It's yet another mystery for the enigmatic bear. 7 months after first being contained in Site-24, Foundation personnel were able to first observe the Builder-Bear's secondary anomalous effect, the one that gave it its namesake. Its ability to create crude living replicas of itself from various materials. This would be fine and dandy.
Okay,
if not
so
for the fact
replicas. So that means that every Builder-Bear that we saw in today's video was a replica of the original bear that, either was the Terminator or it was an octopi or whatever it wants to make. It seems like if it gets that material, it can basically just recreate itself using that material.
that these replicas are invariably extremely hostile and dangerous. Dr. Carver, the head researcher on the SCP-1048 case, posited that, in hindsight, the reason that the Builder-Bear behaved so affectionately to staff around Site-24 was to lull its victims into a false sense of security, making it easier to collect materials for its secondary anomalous pursuits. Dr. Carver outlined case studies of the 3 most dangerous SCP-1048 creations that have manifested in Site-24 since the Builder-Bear started its grim construction project. These creations have been labeled SCP-1048-A, SCP-1048-B, and SCP-1048-C.
So these are all of the replicas.
I'd like to personally warn you that the accounts of these 3 devious bears are disturbing beyond belief, even by the standards of anomalies studied by the SCP Foundation. During the first incident, SCP-1048 was spotted working with SCP-1048-A down the hallway in Site-24. 1048-A is similar to its creator in size and shape, except that it's made entirely from human ears. Dr. Carver was immediately alerted to the creature's presence. He dispatched a security team to apprehend both anomalies.
with fire.
However,
That is
what
gross.
seemed like what would be a simple mission instead became a nightmarish case of mass death. As soon as the security team surrounded the 2 bears, 1048-A let out an impossibly loud, ear-piercing shriek that induced physical pain in everyone within a 10-meter range.
Wow.
But we're not just talking about hearing loss here. Everyone within hearing range began collapsing, growing ears all over their body, covering every inch of their skin. The 2 bears managed to escape during the chaos, and Dr. Carver arrived just too late to make any difference. Though luckily for him, he was at least able to avoid becoming an ear-abomination. This incident resulted in personnel deaths in the double digits. The cause of death, mainly suffocation from all the ears that had grown in the throats and lungs of all those affected. 1048-A has still not been contained.
Oh, it's still out there?
While 1048-A was hardly a walk in the park, 1048-B was, in this humble scientist's opinion, considerably more revolting.
Are you serious?
I will have to tread carefully here, as the creation of 1048-B is an extremely traumatic incident for an active duty member of Foundation personnel who still works at Site-24 to this day. In order to remain within the bounds of good taste, we'll say that 1048-B looks like a frightening cross between a plush teddy bear and a human infant.
Are you serious?
Before the creation of 1048-B,
No.
the anonymous researcher I mentioned earlier was heavily pregnant.
Oh my goodness.
Afterwards, she was not.
What?
The less said about that, the better.
What?
Moving on. The third of the documented SCP-1048 creations is perhaps even more frightening and dangerous than the other two.
Are you kidding me? They get worse?
1048C was first spotted by Dr. Carver himself, lurking in his office. 1048C is another living teddy bear,
What
made
is that?
entirely from rusted scrap metal and jagged
that's
blades.
horrible.
The second that Dr. Carver spotted the metal monster, it got away, fatally slicing and dicing its way through a number of Site-24 guards during its escape.
You can't contain that. It's like a bunch of just scrap metal that could cut you and give you all types of diseases running around. Like, even if you touch it, you're going to get cut up.
Like the other two, it has not been sighted since the incident and is presumed to be still active somewhere in Site-24.
Where are they
potentially
going?
ready to pop out at any moment. It brings a whole new meaning to the term bad news bears. Those well-versed in the anomalous files of the SCP Foundation may be feeling a strange flicker of memory right now. That's because SCP-1048 isn't the only anomalous teddy bear out there. And its counterpart, SCP-2295,
there's more.
the bear with a heart of patchwork, seems to be its perfect opposite in terms of temperament.
Interesting.
It goes without saying that SCP-1048 and its terrifying copies are a menace to everyone it encounters.
That's what it seems like.
But the bear with a heart of patchwork endeavors to save injured human beings whenever it can.
Oh, wow.
If this benevolent bear discovers a person with a severe injury or a disease causing organ failure, it will immediately leap into action. Like a cuddly trauma surgeon, SCP-2295 will take a needle and thread and begin making a fully functional plush organ out of its own material.
That's kind of cool. I mean, this one, I'm not going to lie, it looks a little bit creepy with all of like the stitch work and the X's on the eyes and everything. But it is kind of funny because this one is the good one. And the other one, even though it looks cuddly and friendly, it's actually all fake. It's just trying to lure people in so that they think that it's friendly. And then boom, it'll spawn in literally every bad thing that you could think of in the form of a teddy bear to destroy everything.
It will then attempt to perform transplant surgery. And if the surgery is successful, this patchwork organ will function exactly as a regular one.
Okay, that's really cool.
The bear has saved many lives like this. In fact, SCP-2295 is so benevolent that in cases where the surgery fails, it's been witnessed doubled over and crying over the loss of life.
Poor little guy.
This is a courtesy that you cannot expect if your life is brought to an abrupt demise by one of SCP-1048's many copies.
Nope.
The containment procedures for SCP-1048 have undergone considerable evolution as the Foundation learned more about the entity's anomalous effects. Originally classified as safe before its secondary characteristics manifested, the anomaly is now classified as Keter.
As it should be.
Its original containment procedures are also shockingly lax given what we know now. 1048 was given free rein to wander around Site-24 and interact with personnel to
Okay, that should never happen. Like, if you are in the SCP Foundation, how could you ever let an SCP just roam freely, even if they are safe? Like, you shouldn't just let it run around free because of situations just like this, where it seems like it's safe, but it's smarter than you. So it literally tricked the SCP Foundation into thinking that it was one thing when it was actually the other.
heart's content, a policy that we now know had terrible consequences. Technically speaking, SCP-1048 isn't contained. Many believe that it still lurks somewhere inside Site-24.
Oh, they don't know where it is.
Nobody can know this for sure.
What?
The orders for all active Foundation personnel is to apprehend SCP-1048 on site and to immediately destroy any of its deadly creations with extreme prejudice. The dangers posed by SCP-1048 are so great that even non-anomalous teddy bears are banned from Site-24 to prevent any potential confusion.
Wow.
Any object resembling a bear is to be reported to the site security team to avoid a potential mass casualty event. Dr. Carver appended a note to SCP-1048's containment procedures saying, "This is not a joke. We have no idea what SCP-1048's full capabilities are. Who knows how many of the damn things are out there by now?"
That is true.
It's a disquieting thought, to say the least. The Builder Bear is one of the most peculiar and dangerous self-perpetuating anomalies out there, with incredibly unpredictable abilities across its different iterations. If you want to stay safe, my recommendation is to be wary of any stuffed bears you may see lying around. If you're lucky, it's just another adorable plush creature. If you're unlucky, well, I hope you've made all the proper arrangements.
Let's check this out, boys.
Crooked and dilapidated on the very end of the last street in town. It's the kind of house that children share stories about and warn each other to stay away from. There isn't even any graffiti on it, rare for an abandoned building in this town. But nobody is brave enough to get close to it and risk their life if the rumors of its history are to be believed.
Let's go, babe. This place is haunted.
Containing 4 men pulls up along the curb outside the house. One of them has been black-bagged,
What?
zip ties cutting into the skin of his wrists. He was leaving a bar in town when suddenly he found the barrel of a 9mm semi-automatic pistol looking him in the eye.
Dude is getting
held by a man
kidnapped.
with every reason to pull the trigger.
Why?
2 other men had then emerged from the dark behind him. There was a brief feeling of cold metal against his skin as the twin metal barbs of the stun gun were jammed into the man's neck. His body then began to convulse as 50,000 volts of electricity ran through his body.
Okay, guys, I like to make predictions during these SCP videos, and I want you guys to do the same thing in the comments down below. Don't fast forward. I know some of you guys are little cheaters. Don't do that. Comment down below your actual thoughts right now. But I personally think that inside of this house, people think that there's a ghost, when in reality, it's just the Invisible Woman SCP. And she's trying to like get help and maybe move objects around, or maybe she can't talk because she's invisible or something. Or maybe she is talking and she's invisible and people just think that there's a ghost in the house that's haunting them. So I think these guys, they're going to be like, oh, ghosts aren't real. But what they don't know is that SCPs are real. So once they go inside, the woman is actually going to help this guy that is now getting kidnapped. And then she's going to mess with the dudes and then eventually maybe kill the people that did the kidnapping. And then that's when the SCP Foundation is going to come and extract this woman and then contain her so that they can do tests.
And when he was finally able to open his eyes again, there was only darkness. The back doors of the van swing open, and the unfortunate man is pulled out by 2 of his captors. The driver joins to help drag the man down the gravel pathway up to the deserted house's front door. In his desperation, he offers any excuse he thinks might save him. Please, I just need a little more time. I can get the money, I swear. I've got another job lined up, honest. I start on Monday. Just a little longer, I'm begging you.
Ooh, he can't pay back his debt.
His silence as he's taken into the old house.
Ooh, bad boy.
There's no pleading, begging cliche that they haven't heard before.
Why are his
They
kidnappers so
run to just shoot it
fancy?
out and get the job done. Click, click, click. The 3 men turn on their flashlights. The electricity hasn't been on in the uninhabited house for years. It's the domain of rats, roaches, and spiders now. The only evidence of life being the network of spider webs in every corner and the faint chittering sound of something coming from behind faded wallpaper.
Ooh, it's gotta be the
reason
Invisible
anyone would
Woman.
ever choose to come here is when you needed to do something under the absolute cover of dark, which is exactly what they needed to do. The dark-suited men drop their weeping prisoner to the ground. He tries again to plead with them and receives a hard kick in the gut. It
Ew,
knocks the breath
no.
out of the man, and he is left wheezing in quiet pain, no longer able to speak. One of them finally pulls the dark bag from his head. His nose is bleeding. His eyes are equal parts bleary.
Bro
and
does not
afraid.
look good.
He only half understands his circumstances. What he does understand, though, is that it's looking increasingly unlikely that he'll be leaving this house tonight.
I don't know if it's just me, but this kind of reminds me of Peaky Blinders, and like the guy in the middle is Tommy Shelby, and the guy on the left is his brother. I don't know if you guys have seen that show, but if you have, comment down below if you think the exact same thing.
Men look down at the pathetic figure huddled on the floorboards. None of them really want to be here, but this is the job they've been paid to do. They are unaware, though, that they aren't the only ones watching.
Yes!
Somewhere in the dark is someone else.
I love these
Watches
SCP
them with a
videos.
detached, almost amused curiosity. Taking in the deep dark of the house, one of the men wonders aloud whether it might be haunted. The man with the gun laughs as he pulls back the hammer on his gun and tells him that there's about to be one more ghost here. But just as he is about to pull the trigger and put an end to their captor's terrified blubbering, he suddenly hears something that gives him pause.
Oh, yes!
Something from above them, upstairs. Is he imagining it?
Uh-oh.
Or are those particles of dust floating down from the ceiling,
What?
accompanied by the sound of footsteps?
Oh.
All of the men clearly hear it, and the 3 look around, shining their flashlights into the dark corners of the room. The one holding the man at gunpoint motions to one of the others to go check upstairs. He looks like he'd rather do anything else. But when the man with the gun, who is clearly the one in charge, turns and points his gun at him instead, the man finally concedes that he'll go check it out.
Guys, I never really thought about it like that. Like, what if what we think are ghosts, you know, these like extraterrestrial creatures that are invisible and they're like, you know, already dead, and then they just haven't passed over into the afterlife. What if they're just invisible things? What if they're like invisible animals, invisible people? Obviously, you know, to our knowledge, science says that we can't become invisible. That's just not how it works. But what if we could? What if we could? And that's exactly what ghosts are. They're just invisible creatures, invisible people, and they have no idea how to become uninvisible. Like, they're stuck like that. I would probably go pretty insane, and I would also probably haunt people for fun. I don't know. What would you guys do if you were invisible?
He draws a gun of his own from inside his pocket and starts making his way up the creaking stairs to the second floor of the house. The leader's mind is still on whatever's upstairs. His dumb lackey tried filling his head with all those goofy ghost stories, but he knows, deep down, it's probably just a raccoon or something.
That is the
When the
creepiest
driver
looking
is
raccoon.
assured there are no other witnesses, he'll finish the job, and they can all get out of this creepy dump. He calls up to the driver and asks him if he sees anything up there. Nothing, he calls down. I think we're...
Oh!
Cut off by his own sudden scream.
Yes!
There are 2 gunshots, followed by a loud thump as something heavy hits the ground. The 2 men, both with guns out, crouch down in defensive poses. They call out again, asking what's happening, but they're only met with cold, unforgiving silence. Everyone is on high alert now. Even the bound man is now more afraid of whatever's upstairs than the men who brought him here.
I would be
Nobody
too.
dares move as, after what feels like minutes of silence, the footsteps resume upstairs again. The leader calls out again, asking what's going on. Still no reply, just more footsteps. They follow the sound across the floor above them to the stairs, then listen as the steps start to creak again. Their eyes drift over where they see nothing. Are they going insane? The 2 hired guns share a panicked glance, as if to say, what do we do now?
Dude, I would get out of there.
Answer. A quiet, reedy whisper suddenly echoes through the stale air of the house. It's what sounds like a female voice. It rasps, what are you doing in my house?
Guys, I don't care how much money I'm getting paid. I am not staying in that house. I don't care. That was so creepy. And if you're inside of like a haunted house and you hear somebody talk to you and it wasn't your partner playing a prank on you, which would be very funny, but if it's not that, I am running out of there faster than my dad ran when he got milk and never came back.
The remaining lackey, consumed by panic, begins firing wildly into the dark. The captive and the leader both get as close as they can to the floor as bullets fly through the air, piercing the old wooden walls, causing roaches alike to scatter. Soon enough, the bullets are gone, replaced with only the feeble click, click, click of his dry firing.
They missed every shot.
What's going on in here? He thinks. This place really is haunted. Before another fearful thought can cross his mind, a lamp comes flying at him out of the darkness, shattering into pieces of skin-carving ceramic
my
against
gosh!
his face. Next comes a book, then an old heavy phone, and then a dusty old
She's
grip
going
that strikes his skull
crazy!
with a monstrous crunch.
Whoa!
He drops to his knees, bleeding from both nostrils and the deep gash cut into his forehead.
Bro is not
Flopping
doing
face
good.
Down onto the floor.
Ew.
He'll be lucky if he ever wakes up. Only the leader and his prisoner are left now, both confused, both afraid, both seemingly beset.
Dude, just
by a
get out of there.
Suddenly, the leader feels a hot breath on his neck and a whisper right into his ear. You shouldn't have come here.
Oh,
It hisses.
dude.
He turns,
Guys,
screams,
I'm
and
getting
fires once
goosebumps.
into the dark. Nothing. A strange, tinny giggle suddenly loops around him. It's everywhere and nowhere.
This is a
He can hear
nightmare.
footsteps, but where are they coming from? They're simultaneously getting further and getting closer. An unseen fist collides with his jaw.
Oh!
In a long time. He stumbles, looking around for the assailant, panting like a prize fighter in the championship rounds. But there's nothing there.
Dude, just start
Nothing.
swinging.
Crack.
Just start shadow
Strikes the
boxing.
other
Go.
side of
Just
his
start
face.
punching.
Another giggle from the dark. He spits a tooth out as his mouth
Ew,
bleeds.
bro, she's
Not
a
knowing what
boxer.
else to do, he extends his arm and fires desperately. Maybe he'll get lucky. Or maybe not.
Guys, comment down below what you're doing in this scenario. Personally, I am performing the helicopter tactic where I spin in a circle with my gun as fast as possible, and then I just start shooting and punching furiously in a circle. I just keep spinning until something happens. I'm just gonna helicopter my way until I win the fight. That's the only way that I think that I'll come out of this alive.
A force wraps itself around his extended arm and pulls on it with a sudden immense pressure. It snaps before he has the chance to scream, his arm bending at the joint in the wrong direction. he lets out an agonized cry as he drops his gun to the ground.
He's gonna feel that in the morning.
Is cut off. He takes a punch to the solar plexus, sapping the wind from him as he spews out a thin mist of blood that settles onto the shadow. A woman's face, staring right at him, grinning. His terror and pain overcome him.
Okay, that
His
was
mind
kind of
snaps,
cool.
He faints from panic, collapsing to the ground in a heap. His jacket opens as invisible fingers work a handkerchief from an inside pocket and wipe the blood from the floating face, leaving only a floating, bloody handkerchief. The man on the ground, the one who was brought here against his will,
what's she going to do with
astonished
him?
and speechless as the handkerchief flutters down to the ground. All he can do is stare in amazement as the leader's arm flops limply upright, as the gold watch around his wrist unclasps itself and floats into the air. And then, with a strange gulping noise, disappears entirely. Footsteps creak across the ground. The front door.
Guys, I am so confused. First off, do we think that this is just a normal woman? Obviously, she's invisible, but other than that, do we think, like, does she have any superpowers? It seems like she might be, I don't know, some sort of kung fu martial arts master, considering that she just beat that guy into a living pulp. She broke his arm like it was nothing. I don't even know if I could do that to another person, even if I was invisible. So maybe she's trained in kung fu. Also, too, why did she just eat the gold watch? Maybe it was to conceal it so that, anything inside of her mouth technically also turns invisible. So maybe that was it. Or she just likes passing time. I don't really know. I don't know why she did that, but comment down below your thoughts.
Door opens, then closes again, leaving the terrified man in silence.
That door looks like a chocolate bar.
Between two bodies. After a time, he finally gains the courage to stand up. He creeps nervously towards the front door and opens it. There's no one outside. Not that he could see whatever assailant just took out the group of men anyway.
Okay, so this dude just somehow got out of that
dark house. He steps out and closes the door behind him. He's free, and no matter how hard he tries, he will never understand the true nature of the invisible specter that just saved his life. But while none of the men will never know what they encountered that night, the SCP Foundation certainly does, because these are the kind of antics you can expect from SCP-347, also known by the somewhat obvious nickname of the Invisible Woman.
Well, yeah.
But she has another name, her own self-chosen epithet, Claudia.
Oh.
Foundation staff are
okay, Claudia.
unsure whether this is the real name of the SCP-347 entity or a pseudonymized reference to Claude Rains, the English actor who portrayed Dr. Jack Griffin in the 1933 film The Invisible Man. Of course, nothing is really as it seems when it comes to this particular anomaly, though it's easy to be more than what meets the eye when nothing meets the eye at all. Claudia, as I will refer to her both out of respect for her chosen name as well as for the sake of simplicity, is 164 centimeters.
Okay, so I'm guessing the SCP Foundation probably found her after, there were many reports of something like this, and then all they had to do was use some sort of like heat monitor to see where she was, and then bada bing, bada boom, you could see that there's a woman standing in front of me, but I can't see her, therefore there's the invisible woman. So I'm guessing that's probably how they found her.
In height and 55 kilograms in weight. And that's really all that is known for sure about her.
Interesting.
Her primary anomalous trait is, of course, that she is completely and utterly invisible. Although she seems to possess them like an average human, all parts of her body, including blood and hair, will remain invisible even if removed from her body.
That part's really interesting.
Only saliva and bodily waste become visible when separated from her body.
I'm just thinking, dude, there's just like a random turd that you see floating in the middle of nowhere, and it's secretly Claudia. She's just taking a dump.
As a number of disgruntled, mop and bucket wielding D-classes are more than aware. Claudia is able to see through what also must be anomalous means, since in typical humans, the cones and rods of the eyes must be visible for them to receive light and thus see.
Right.
Research is ongoing as to how exactly this is possible, as well as what it could potentially provide for active camouflage technology. By her own description, which due to her skittish and crafty personality must be taken with a grain of salt, Claudia is a mixed-race woman between the ages of 19 and 25, with brown eyes and wavy black hair.
How does she know that? How does she know what color her hair is, what color eyes she has? Is she able to turn on and off the ability? Or maybe she was an SCP that was created, maybe during like some scientific accident. Or, maybe she's just lying. Like they just said, maybe she's just like giving a description for herself just for fun and to play with the SCP Foundation.
She appears to have no anomalous traits other than her invisibility, no super strength or speed, no ability to fly. However, what she does have is a very particular set of skills. Skills that make her a nightmare to anyone wishing to keep her under lock and key.
So she's
Like, for
female
example,
Liam
the
Neeson.
SCP Foundation. The Foundation quickly learned that Claudia is an accomplished escape and infiltration artist. With the
Interesting.
lockpicking skills of a veteran thief. She's
Wow.
able to move while making very little noise, which complements her natural stealth advantages perfectly, allowing her to get in and out of secured areas easily. These are skills she's developed not only to survive, but to support certain psychological dependencies she suffers from. While Foundation psychologists have posited a number of mental conditions that could be affecting Claudia, two seem to have risen to prominence: kleptomania and pica.
Oh.
Claudia appears to be compulsively driven to steal as a kind of psychological crutch. Being invisible, naturally, makes her an impeccable thief.
Right.
However, when she has obtained the item of her desire, said item floating through the air is likely to draw unwanted attention. That is where her second strange habit comes in.
So she puts it
Pica
in her
is an eating
mouth?
disorder that causes sufferers to consume items that are not food, sometimes damaging themselves in the process.
Ew. I think my
Claudia
dog has
developed
that.
the unhealthy habit of swallowing some of the smaller items she steals, causing them to seemingly disappear until she later vomits the items
Ew.
back up.
Okay, that's kind of
When
gross.
interviewed on the matter, Claudia stated that she'd gotten the idea from watching Stevie Starr perform on a late-night television show. Starr is a Scottish performer known for his ability to swallow and regurgitate items, though Starr's ability doesn't extend far enough to meet the Foundation's threshold for anomalous. Before she was brought into containment,
I never really thought about that. Like, what if some just like really talented performer? I remember I used to watch this show when I was younger about like these superhumans of people that like could bend themselves in like a box, or like some really great climbers. Like, what if the SCP Foundation found somebody that could like climb something and they were just a super talented climber, but then they were like, no, that's actually an SCP ability. You are an SCP. And they thought that like he was Spider-Man or something, when it was really just a normal person with like this really cool ability.
Claudia had a preference for abandoned houses. The home where Foundation agents finally discovered her was one with a long history of reported poltergeist activity. As is standard in instances where spectral phenomena were suspected, the Foundation moved in with infrared cameras, allowing them to quickly detect the humanoid shape of Claudia.
Exactly
and
as
move in
I
to
thought.
Intercept her. Without the advantage of her invisibility, she had no chance of either evading or besting trained Foundation operatives in combat. Thankfully, it didn't need to come to that, and after a brief period of deliberation, Claudia gave herself up to the Foundation willingly in exchange for shelter and warm meals, both of which would be provided for her in containment. Prior to this, it's believed that she was effectively homeless for years
Aw.
and had been making ends meet in any way she could. She refuses to discuss her past directly, though a long string of ghost activity across the area and at least 2 deaths have been solidly linked to her activities. Being unseen for years of her life has taken an undeniable mental toll on Claudia, the isolation leading to instability and even violent outbursts
Oh, wow.
on occasion. Thankfully, she has responded well to treatment from Foundation counselors and psychiatrists, which has reduced the frequency of these violent outbursts significantly.
So it seems like she's just a normal person that, you know, either she was born with this ability or somehow she just got the ability of being invisible. And then luckily it seems like the SCP Foundation is doing a pretty good job. Like, they're being humane. They're not doing any random tests on her. They're actually giving her like a therapist to just try to help her live a normal life, because it seems like, unlike, you know, some of the Keter class SCPs like Shy Guy or the Statue or the Prototype that are super dangerous and like they're not even really human, it seems like she's just a normal human that kind of just got cursed with this random ability of being invisible. So she's kind of like an X-Men with just a weird power. And it seems like the SCP Foundation, surprisingly, is doing a good job, just like, you know, keeping her happy, giving her food, giving her a place to stay, and treating her, you know, kind of normally, at least.
As she recovers further from her traumatic past, there is hope that Claudia may even begin to recover from her kleptomaniac tendencies altogether, allowing her to live a normal, well-adjusted life, or as much as one can hope to live while still remaining invisible. There's even more good news, though. Since entering containment and undergoing recovery, Claudia has become much more social.
Oh,
She
good.
enjoys interacting with other people, especially when they treat her as though she's an average person. And some of her actions have even been described as bordering on flirtatious.
Oh, no
She
way.
enjoys interacting physically with people, and often plays impish pranks on the unsuspecting people sent into her chamber, such as rearranging or taking items to confuse them. She also shows, for unknown reasons, a particular fondness for interacting with people as they sleep, often touching and stroking them, though it may have been one of the only ways she was able to have human contact prior to entering Foundation custody.
That makes sense.
While she describes this as feeling right, those who experience it from the other side describe it as feeling unnerving, as though they've been touched by a ghost. Naturally, due to being an intelligent escape artist that is impossible to see through conventional means, Foundation containment specialists have needed to go all out on her containment measures, both to keep her contained and to keep her comfortable enough that she has no desire to attempt a containment breach. She is kept in a 5-meter by 5-meter room in Site-17, constantly monitored by a remote infrared camera, and in addition to infrared detection systems, Claudia is also visible in ultraviolet light, expanding the Foundation's means of seeing her.
Interesting.
Her room has an ensuite bathroom with a shower and bathtub, and is furnished with a queen-sized bed, several oversized beanbag chairs, 2 armchairs, a desk and swivel chair, several bookcases, and a TV with a DVD player.
That's not that bad at all.
Bookcases are filled with various books, primarily adventure novels, Harlequin romances, and art books. She's allowed DVDs of various movies and TV shows predating her arrival at the SCP facility, and may request new material to be reviewed every so often. Claudia is given access to any clothes she pleases, though she often prefers to remain unclothed to take advantage of her full invisibility.
Okay.
She does on occasion wear wigs and makeup for her own amusement. Her room must remain locked at all times when she is inside it.
I am kind of curious too, like what if, obviously we just saw her put on like lipstick and eyebrows, but what if she just like put on, I don't know, like a bunch of paint or like foundation? Wouldn't she be able to see her face then? Or at least like kind of see her face? I guess it would be kind of weird though, because like you wouldn't be able to see her eyeballs because you can't really put anything on your eyeballs. But maybe if she put on sunglasses, like, I don't know. I feel like if she put on enough clothes and other things, like she could technically pass as a normal looking person. Yeah, that would be kind of interesting to see.
And 2 guards are required to check the door for any signs of tampering every hour. The door is only unlocked to allow staff members in and out of the containment chamber for the purposes of research and enrichment. Claudia enjoys chatting with staff members who bring her food, though said staff members are discouraged from forming attachments that are too close to Claudia, as it may allow her to manipulate them into helping her escape or gain special privileges. On the rare occasions when Claudia is allowed to leave the room, she is mandated to wear gloves and a layer of grease paint over her face to give personnel awareness of her hands and facial expressions.
Okay.
If she does attempt violent action or escape, she must be apprehended immediately and placed back into her room. In the event of an escape, infrared goggles will be distributed to all personnel, and any strange phenomena around Site-17 will be reported. Thankfully, escape attempts are quite infrequent, and while she currently has the Euclid Object class, pending further therapy, her containment class may be upgraded to Safe class. Of course, the Foundation keeps any containment breaches close to the chest, and if there was a recent containment breach, you'd have no way of knowing. For all you know, she could be watching you right now.
When an anomaly is first detected by an SCP Foundation field agent,
All right,
it's
that's
up
an
to the
SCP field
Foundation's
agent.
mobile task forces to tag and bag the impossible entities before they can do any more harm.
All right,
Sometimes these retrievals are uneventful. Other times, not so much.
Yo, they got
Especially when
destroyed.
they're dealing with brutal forces of nature, like SCP-096.
Also known as the Shy Guy.
A creature that, from the very first interaction with the Foundation, had a reputation for being dangerous and needed to be.
Oh yeah, for those of you guys that don't know, the Shy Guy is basically this giant humanoid white creature that covers its eyes, and if you accidentally look at it, you're basically dead. I don't know exactly why Shy Guy is so shy, so maybe today we'll figure it out. This animation was made by SCP Explained. The link to their channel will be down below in the description.
A series of vague sightings and mysterious disappearances up in the frosty mountains of the Yukon first sparked the Foundation's interest.
That's kind of spooky.
Had an anomaly on their hands.
Yeah,
Two
makes
retrieval
sense.
teams, Zulu 9A and Zulu 9B, were dispatched to secure and contain the entity.
They're
Zulu
gonna
9A
die.
took the lead in a heavy-duty chopper, equipped with 50 caliber GAU-19 heavy machine guns, and
They went with full-on machine guns and 6 guys that all had guns on their bodies as well, and they have a huge helicopter, so they shouldn't lose. But SCPs are kind of a little bit dangerous. That's why SCP stands for Secure, Contain, Protect. If you find one of these creatures, you secure it, you contain it, and then you protect it from other people.
and carrying an AT-4 anti-tank launcher.
They have a
They
tank?
were prepared for anything, or so they thought.
How are they going to lose to Shy Guy?
SCP-096 while 2 clicks away from the target.
Yo.
They couldn't get a clear line of sight on the creature, but it appeared to be stationary.
This thing basically looks like the opposite version of Slenderman. Instead of being like all black with a white face, it's just all white and it has like little tiny black eyes.
They couldn't get a clear line of sight on the creature, but it appeared to be stationary.
They're slowly
docile,
approaching it with a
making no
P90
attempt to
and a
flee.
rocket launcher.
Cake, right? Little did they know that SCP-096 was just looking away from them.
Don't look at it, he just looked at me!
Towards them, it'd be a whole different horror story, as Zulu 9A were about to find out.
As soon
The
as
team
you look
landed
at this
their
thing, they're
helicopter
dead.
Next to the
They're
creature,
gonna die.
and were shocked to see that it was completely naked, in spite of the sub-zero temperatures all around them. The creature was unnaturally thin, as though it had been starved for weeks, with bone-white skin and unnaturally long limbs.
Did you see how
The
long
team
its
guessed
arms
that
were?
The creature's arms must have been at least 1.5 meters long.
What?
But its docile nature and insubstantial body mass gave the impression that it wouldn't prove too difficult to contain. That is,
So obviously this creature looks kind of weird. It's like, almost like Bigfoot lost a bunch of weight and also all of its hair. So they don't really think it's a problem, but little do they know that this is an SCP. Not any SCP, this is Shy Guy.
that is, until they saw its face.
You guys
Zulu
are
9A's captain was
dead.
the lone survivor of the incident, as he was lucky enough to be looking away when the creature turned towards his team.
Oh, they looked at
The
him.
rest of the squad ended up staring eye to eye with SCP-096.
That's not what you do with the
And from that
SCP-096.
moment on, wasn't docile anymore.
Nope.
The creature began to whimper, then cry, then sob uncontrollably
It's so creepy.
in a way that sounded eerily human. This sudden change in temperament startled the rest
They
of
started to
Zulu
shoot
9A,
it?
and they opened
Why
fire
would they
on
do
the
that?
creature. Under the hail of gunfire, SCP-096 entered a murderous
Look how big its
frenzy
mouth
and
is.
began tearing into the hapless squad of soldiers. While its flesh and organs did seem to take damage
That
as a
is
result
nightmare
of the
fuel.
barrage of 50 caliber rounds from the helicopter-mounted machine guns, its skeletal structure remained
Its body just looks like a slice of white Swiss cheese. It's about to eat a grown man alive.
50 caliber rounds from the helicopter-mounted machine guns. Its skeletal structure remained
Oh
intact.
my
and it
gosh.
continued its onslaught.
He's
tearing
gonna
the
eat him.
team limb from limb, even after they'd blown practically all the flesh from the creature. The AT-4 anti-tank launcher proved equally ineffective at stopping SCP-096
It survived a
while
tank
it was in attack
explosion?
mode. And it was only after slaughtering
How?
the entire team that it returned to its docile state.
Oh my
Nobody
gosh.
knows exactly what the creature did to Zulu 9A after the gunfire started, but no trace of the team was left behind.
It probably ate
Zulu
them all,
9B touched
right?
down soon after, and with a grave warning from the captain not to look at the creature's face, they were finally able to subdue it.
It's a really good thing that at least one of them survived so that they knew how to deal with the SCP. Most of the SCPs have like one weird trait so that you're able to use that and then capture them. So with Shy Guy, all you have to do is not make eye contact with him. He's super shy. He might have social anxiety, so you just like, you know, keep your head down, and then as long as you do that, he won't attack you.
A bag
Good work,
was placed
Captain.
over SCP-096's face, which seemed to soothe it enough to
Oh,
move
they
it
just
to
put a
nearby
bag over
Foundation
its head.
facility.
That's so
Little
sad.
did they know, they just obtained one of the deadliest SCPs of all time. And while it may have been under lock and key for now, it seemed inevitable that it would get out and cause more violence and chaos.
How would it get
Research and
out?
containment procedures for the SCP-096 were put under the command of Dr. Dan,
Dr.
a senior
Dan.
researcher at the site. It was his job to find out exactly what this being was capable of, and the more he tested,
So for those of you guys that don't know about SCPs, the person going in the orange jumpsuit is called a D-class personnel. They're basically like prisoners in jail that like are on, I think, death row, and then they're given to the SCP Foundation to use as experiments for the SCPs. Yeah, it's bad.
the more he tested.
So Dr. Dan's
more he
basically sending this
realized that they were
dude
dealing with
to get
something
eaten by
truly
SCP-096. Yeah, that dude just
Disposable
got
D-class
ripped
personnel
apart
were
to
used
shreds.
figure out exactly what it was that caused the creature to enter its attack.
Oh!
Just as it had during the initial retrieval mission, SCP-096 went berserk when any
looked
of the
at it.
attending personnel saw its face. In
Yeah,
this stage,
why is he
it would
walking
enter a
like
period
that?
of considerable and unstoppable distress for 1 to 2 minutes, covering its face and wailing loudly.
I
When
feel
the
kinda
period of
bad
distress
for it.
ended, the creature would mercilessly slaughter every D-class that had seen its face, and just like with Zulu 9A, no trace of their bodies would be left behind.
Because they get eaten
Dr. Dan was
alive!
horrified and intrigued by this phenomenon. The
Yeah,
creature
seeing
killed
its face
anyone that
equals
saw
death.
its face directly, but could the same be said for indirect depictions of the creature's face? such as images and videos.
Wait, that's actually a good question because I've never heard about maybe taking a picture of SCP-096 and then if you do that, maybe you're good. Or what if you look at it through a mirror? Does it still count?
Such as images and videos. Dr. Dan was desperate to find out. More D-Class personnel were brought in to test this, to frightening results. Dr. Dan found that the creature did indeed still enter attack mode when people saw pictures and videos of SCP-096's face. The creature seemed to have an innate sense of when people were viewing these representations, even when it should have had no conceivable way of knowing.
Wait, does that mean, am I gonna be okay? I am watching a video of SCP-096, right? But it's just an animation though, so I think I'm good, right?
Conceivable way of knowing. It didn't matter how far away or how many barriers were in place between the viewer and the creature. The attack mode would still activate.
How does it find it?
It seemed as though nothing could stop the creature from hunting down the one who saw its face. With all of this new data, special containment procedures were devised to keep the creature safely under lock
that's a
and
good
key.
idea.
Its cell was a 5 meter by 5 meter by 5 meter airtight steel cube, fitted with advanced pressure sensors and laser detectors to ensure that
so it's not gonna escape that.
SCP-096 remained in its cell without risking anyone having visual contact with the creature's face. All cameras and video equipment were strictly forbidden, and weekly checks for any cracks or holes in the containment cell were mandatory. Of course, none of this would stop the creature if anyone somehow saw its face. In order to solve that little problem, Dr. Dan would need to continue his research. To find a method of subverting the creature's deadly glance, they needed to know exactly what they were dealing with. But how could they?
Yeah, if they can't look at it,
photo or video of the
right?
being meant
So how are they going to figure out
potential
what
solution
stops
was
it?
proposed, creating an artistic representation of the creature's face, something that hadn't yet been attempted. But how would they achieve such a feat? Simple. They'd procure a D-Class prisoner with some artistic talent.
And wait, it's going to look at the Shy Guy SCP? But like after it does that, it's just gonna die. They're just setting up this man to die. I guess it's the only way to actually get to the bottom of this.
Before becoming a Foundation guinea pig, Dr. Dan formulated an ingenious plan for keeping this D-Class alive for long enough to accurately draw an image of SCP-096's face.
Maybe a bunch of bulletproof steel?
Several kilometers underwater and tens of kilometers away from the containment cell where the SCP was being held. The D-Class was made to look at a photograph of the creature's face and then replicate that image in a pencil sketch. Dr. Dan first confirmed that the creature's attack mode is only activated by the creature's face by having the D-Class look at a series of photos of the SCP's body parts, one by one, finally finishing with its face. The D-Class began drawing
so it's going to be able to draw it all.
how creepy the SCP's facial features were, despite not knowing the deadly context. Meanwhile, back in its containment cell, SCP-096 sensed someone viewing its face.
How?
And entered its inconsolable crying state, followed by its attack mode.
It was able to break out?
Easily, and began making a beeline for the D.
It broke out of steel! 5 foot by 5 foot by 5 foot steel! That's crazy. This thing is basically the Incredible Hulk, except it's white and skinny and has teeth that are going to grind up anything that it touches.
It broke out of containment easily and began making a beeline
I don't like
for the
this creature.
D-Class, traversing the miles between it and its prey.
How
the D-Class
did it get
didn't
there?
know it, as he locked the finished drawing into a separate, autonomous submersible, but he was already dead.
Oh
As
my
the drawing
gosh.
made its way up
It
to a
went
researcher
deep
on the
underwater
surface,
to kill the D-Class
SCP-096
personnel.
dived into the water and started swimming down towards the artist. Minutes later, the bathysphere was breached, and the D-Class was torn to shreds. SCP-096 was recaptured without issue by Surface Recovery Team Foxtrot 303A.
Okay, so
And
they got him
testing
back.
on the drawing showed that artistic representations of SCP-096's face were in fact harmless. From this
Okay, so that's
experience,
good.
We now know that the creature has a gaunt face with totally white eyes, possibly indicating blindness and a grossly extended jaw.
So as long as you look at the creature and it's not a direct picture, you're safe. So we're good. We've been looking at animators that have drawn SCP-096. So we don't have to worry about Shy Guy coming to our houses and, you know, eating us. So that's nice.
Nevertheless, Dr. Dan was adamant that SCP-096 was too dangerous to be left alive.
Yeah,
and requested
that makes
permission from
good
the upper
sense.
echelons of
Good
the
job, Dr.
Foundation
Dan.
to terminate the creature by any means necessary.
But how?
However, the doctor's request would fall on deaf ears. Until it all started with a seemingly innocent image. While it's now been redacted for your safety, The black speck inside the yellow circle was once a minuscule image of SCP-096, taken unknowingly in the 1990s by a semi-professional mountaineer. One day they were looking at old photographs when his eyes passed over the tiny speck without even noticing that he had seen anything. But SCP-096 noticed.
How?
Began entering its attack.
It was just a tiny little speck. We couldn't even see you, you psycho!
Causing the release of a nerve agent that killed a number of attending Foundation staff. The monster then fled the base and began pursuing its prey, with Mobile Task Force Tau-1 in hot pursuit.
You gotta take this
Dr.
thing out!
Alexei, who was helping to manage the site where the SCP
Call the
was
army!
contained,
Call the navy! Call somebody! Get some aliens!
Was out of the country at the time, trying to discover more about the creature's origins. However, he did leave the Mobile Task Force with a new secret weapon against the rampaging Shy Guy.
What are they gonna
Project
use?
Scramble. Scramble were state-of-the-art goggles featuring a new technology created by Dr. Dan, which, using artistic renditions of 096's facial features, could detect and scramble the features of SCP-096 into an unrecognizable form, preventing the normally deadly effect of gazing upon its face. In theory, this would allow MTF Tau-1 to engage safely with 096 once its prey had been eliminated and bring it back into containment. But disaster struck on two fronts. First, the prey in question was located in a population center, creating the potential for a huge loss of life. And the second bigger problem was that the scramble technology didn't work. As stray pixels of the creature's face would reach the eyes of the task force before the internal microprocessor had time to scramble them. The mission turned into a death sentence, as SCP-096 slaughtered almost the entire
It just went on a rampage.
as well as a number of civilians in town, including an infant and its entire family.
Oh my
gosh. It was a monumental disaster.
Yeah, that
made
sounds
even
terrible.
Worse by a final revelation. Dr. Dan and Dr. Alexei had themselves facilitated the entire containment breach and allowed the resulting massacre to happen. With Dr. Dan hoping it would be enough motivation for Foundation Command to—
Dr. Dan did it? He was behind this entire plan? Bro, you're a savage. Why would you do that? I mean, I understand that, like, he wanted to destroy the creature, but he just released it into the world. That's awful. You should have just, like, kept it in captivity. That's part of your plan as SCP Foundation. Secure, contain, protect, not to kill it.
greenlight his research into destroying the creature. Anything that would give him the opportunity to kill this thing would be worth the bloodshed. His plan worked, and the SCP Foundation saw it his way.
Okay, so now they're gonna try to kill SCP-096.
However, success comes at a cost for Dr. Dan. Once he figures out a way to finally kill the creature, though done in his line of duty, he himself will be terminated by the Foundation for his crimes against humanity.
Okay.
But considering how much damage SCP-096 is capable of causing if
They're
it
all
ever
just
got to
looking
a
at
major
him.
population center,
Oh
or
no.
even worse, was ever caught on camera and broadcast to a worldwide audience, the Doctor himself would likely deem his own death a justifiable cost. To this day, the Foundation is researching ways to kill the creature, and they're still looking for their silver bullet.
Yeah, I don't know if there is going to be a way.
They hadn't known about the seemingly innocent picture that sparked the last containment breach, the one taken decades ago, in which the Shy Guy had only occupied 4 tiny pixels. 4 tiny pixels that resulted in multiple innocent lives lost. So be careful where you look, because who knows how many other photos of the creature are lurking out there.
Okay.
Photos with an innocent dot
That's
in the
scary.
background. Your eyes glance over it, not even noticing the little blip, until you hear a distant wailing that seems to be getting closer and closer and closer.
Okay, you don't have to make it that spooky, my man.
Already